getting at with the book script? Spit that shit out, man!
Do you want to form an alliance with me?
Absolutely, I do. Excited.
Go outside, nerd. Get out. Go.
Oh my God, I did not think he was going to do that. That scared me. That actually scared me a little bit.
It's called Two Brothers. Two Brothers. It's just called Two Brothers.
And
Friend?
welcome to another episode of Two Brothers and...
Friend?
Exactly. Good job, Josh. Good job.
I only have one job.
Yeah,
and
that's
that is
to
it.
say, and friend, and that's it. Welcome to Two Brothers. Thank you guys for tuning in for another episode. Just off the top, go ahead and follow us on our socials, and you can listen to this podcast anywhere you get podcasts from, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all that shit. Please share these episodes to your friends, especially the ones who enjoy Zack Snyder movies, because we had an episode of that on our YouTube channel.
And I won, motherfucker.
No.
Yeah, I lost pretty hard.
Because we're gonna actually do a little recovery here, Josh. How are you feeling after you got your ass handed to you on that last episode?
You know, I feel pretty good. You know,
Pretty good?
I've gotten my ass beat multiple times, and I recover quickly because of all that
okay.
ass beating.
You got that Superman super fast healing, whatever the fuck.
Healing factor?
Yeah.
Come on, you fucking comic book nerd over here. Get it right.
Yeah, that was actually one of our favorite episodes, so go and listen to that. I think you guys will enjoy that. And we're going to do more of a relaxed episode. I don't know if we'll be relaxed. We'll see how it goes. We're going to talk about our favorite gaming moments. We haven't done this episode. We haven't really done this type of thing. We're waiting for the right moment. We have Josh here because we haven't done a video game one, have we, Josh?
I don't even know why you invited me for this. I don't play video games.
What? Okay, we're gonna do a quick little intermission.
The fuck am I doing here? Just kidding. Come on now. Come on.
I want to hear your opinions on some of your favorite moments in games, because we've been talking about movies a lot lately, which is great. But it's time to switch it up. You know, let's do something different. We all have kind of, a list in our heads. Should we just dive in? What do you guys want to talk about? What do you guys want to start off with first? Josh, do you want to get into overrated games first? You want to, because we're gonna do two topics tonight, listeners. We're gonna do our favorite gaming moments, and we're gonna do a little bonus there at the end where we're gonna talk about some of our, I was gonna say favorite overrated games, but what we think are some overrated games, maybe even moments. I don't know. We'll see where it goes.
Guys, we don't think. We know these are overrated. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, that is true.
But I don't know. I would say let's obviously talk about, greatest video game moments first is my recommendation.
Yeah.
But before we do, why video games, guys? Indulge.
That's
Educate
a
me.
good question, because I did think about making this a greatest moments in movies, which we still have to do also. I think that's going to be a pretty good
Martha.
God. That's not even close to
Greatest scene ever.
That
Oscar
shit.
worthy.
Oh my God. You and your Zack Snyder.
Keep going. Yeah, Alberto. Keep going, man.
But so I think video games, I love the art form. Obviously, we talk about it here on the podcast. But we haven't really dedicated an episode where we just talk about some of our favorite moments, And to me, at least, this might be a hot take. More than movies, I feel like the moments that I'm going to bring up stick in my mind more than like movie moments. I don't know. That's just me. But what about you? What interested you about doing this episode, Josh?
I'll backtrack and bring up a previous comment you made in one of our podcasts. You were talking about like Kevin Smith movies. One thing that you appreciate about being watching those movies is it feels like you're a part of the movie.
Yeah.
And I don't think I think that's a great that's great for Kevin Smith movies, but it's not always great for movies in general. You know, it's a viewing, entertaining, excitement, whatever, right? But you get that always
with games.
with video games.
Yeah.
It's a way like reading a book. How am I going to get away from the world a little bit?
Right.
You know, I'm going to take a break and I'm going to go into this world of Final Fantasy, Zelda. You know, and as I play the character, I'm not just playing the character. I am the character. You know,
and you take part in those moments.
Absolutely.
I think that's why.
You know, and the fact that because you are interacting in it, you know, and being indulged in the story, you are getting away and you become a part of the video game, and that's the greatness of it. And what I love about video games, as well is you know, I remember being that kid, you know, getting my first Nintendo, you know, getting a Super Nintendo, getting a PlayStation, getting a 64, and what I'm getting at is the just the evolution of where a video game was then to where it is now is so
God, dude, staggering, man.
Oh man, you know, it just blows me away. You know, and obviously 8-bit is still nostalgic. It's still, I hold it close to me. I have some of that on my list as well. But just where it was versus where it is now, it's amazing. It's amazing how it's been, how it's changed.
I think that's a good introduction to this episode. Eddie, you got? Go ahead.
And don't forget, I'm here, fucker.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's two brothers.
Yeah, asshole.
Man, tension has risen.
Yeah. No, I agree with both of you. Well, I'll go with you. Like, I think there's times where video games do it best, as in storytelling and character development. And as with Josh, for example, I played Red Dead again, and I was so like.
Which one?
Red Dead 2.
Nice.
Damn it.
Oh, you're doing a Josh, man.
Yeah, and yeah, and yeah, you invest so much with that character. You care for him or her, whatever it is, you know. And I even told you like when I got to those moments in that game, it's like, dude, this game fucking hits different. Once you get, you know, once you play it again, yeah.
Did you do the bath scene all the time?
Yes.
And then you allowed that woman to.
Yes.
My man.
That's a lot of hours spent on that shit, dude. You have to go to a hotel. You gotta check yourself in. That's not something that you just.
And it's not free.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
gotta pay them too to come in and give you a back rub.
What's an extra 25 cents? I don't know. No, yeah, I agree with. Are we starting it off or what? Okay, go ahead. All right, go ahead.
No, it's just I just want to talk a little bit about it. Like there's things that in video games that it doesn't seem like if they were translated into film, it wouldn't work. You know, yeah. And hopefully we'll get there once you beat the game. I would like to do like a talk about Red Dead on Red Dead, because to me, like I said it before, like I think it's one of the best Western stories in all media. To me, you know, and I guess we'll get there soon and we'll talk about it. But yeah.
No, yeah, I think we might have to do another episode or a whole episode of Red Dead 2, because I am going through it. I am reaching towards the end, and you know, spoilers for. Actually, we should put a disclaimer too. Spoilers for all this shit, for all these games we talk about. So if you haven't played any of them, too bad, dude. I don't know. Just enjoy the episode. And just be prepared, because a lot of shit's going to get spoiled for you.
Hey, and even if we do spoil it for the individual, hopefully it also encourages you to get the game and play it.
That's kind of one of the things I want to get out of this episode is if anything, it makes people go out and play the games, you know? Yeah, we might have to do a Red Dead 2 retrospective. But I know it's kind of off topic, but what did you think of Red Dead 2? Did you also agree it's kind of like the best
overrated
Western? Are you fucking kidding?
No, dude, it's so fucking good, man.
It is good, dude. It is good.
So fucking good. Even the OG, man. The OG.
Are you talking about Red Dead Redemption or Revolver?
Red Dead Redemption. Come on,
Okay,
man.
all right.
Nobody remembers Revolver.
I remember Revolver.
Obviously, you like bad games, but
That's not a bad game. What are you talking about? Red Dead Revolver, a bad game? All right, here we go. We're about to start again. You know what?
explain it to me like you explained Shawshank Redemption, Alberto.
Red Dead Revolver. You talking about one of the greatest? Oh, there he goes. Now he looks like he's falling asleep. Oh, that's right. I forgot. It's past your bedtime, Josh. That's what.
Fuck you, Albert.
Okay. Let's. All right. Red Dead Revolver is a good game, but we're not gonna get into it. Okay. I feel like it's underappreciated.
Nobody
It's one
on
of the
this.
best.
Nobody listen. All 5 people listening to this podcast has never even heard of that
You,
game.
me, Edgar. Who else? Who are the other?
Edgar
two?
and I have never heard of that game ever again.
Edgar's fucking played Red Dead Revolver, right?
He's just saying yes because he's your brother.
Hey, look. I'll say this: had there not been a Revolver, there would not be a Red Dead Redemption. Silence.
Stop supporting your brother.
Silence. All right.
Hey, where you at? Help me out.
And for the listeners who can't see, Josh is pointing to just nothing, which just
I have no support system when I am on this podcast.
yeah, that is true.
I'm just throwing this out there.
Hey, look,
Help
I
me out,
want
Edgar.
to. We're gonna peel the onion back a little bit. Josh, this was his idea to do Batman v Superman, so let's do a 2v1, man. It's a handicap match.
Why
All
are
right,
we still
Josh.
talking about this?
All right, so okay, I'm sorry. Let's we're off the rails. Let's get back on topic. Let's get started. Who wants to get started? Josh, do you want to mention one of your favorite moments?
I would love to go first.
All right,
Absolutely. I'm taking it back. Super Nintendo.
Okay.
Final Fantasy 6.
6. Okay. All right.
Have we ever played this?
No.
Great game, great story. I just played it again. They released it on the remaster for the Switch, PS5, Xbox. Pretty much the story is there's this war going on versus these colonies, these groups, excuse me, and this empire is trying to create magic. And in order to create magic, they discover that there are these espers who live in another world. They once lived with the humans, okay, but they pretty much separated themselves from the humans because humans were too corrupt, and they pretty much kidnap these espers. They kill them and they turn them into these. Pretty much, they're taking their power. And the whole idea is to obviously conquer.
Okay. All right.
And then these other people are trying to actually stop them and all this stuff. The main character, randomly, they don't know why, has abilities. They don't know where she comes from.
Okay.
But it's because, spoiler alert, she's half Esper.
Okay.
So what's so great about this game, and I'm probably like sharing too much. I'm like sharing. The
You gotta
greatness of
set it
this
up.
game.
You know,
I
you gotta,
apologize.
No, it's fine. You gotta set it because Final Fantasy games are so like engrossing in its story. You can't just talk about a game without
Absolutely
bringing up its story. You know, so
and what's great about this game is obviously every character has like 9 characters, and they're all great, and they explain all these characters. And their pasts, where they come from, and as they come together to fight this empire, right? And their reason and so forth. But long story short, this emperor, who you think is the main villain, is actually not the main villain.
oh damn.
Okay, so he has this henchman, Kefka, and he's kind of, best way to describe him is he's actually a Joker. He resembles
Kinda
Joker.
like a wild card.
But
type of?
he wears makeup. He looks like the Joker.
okay. Yeah.
He's very cynical. He does anything and everything he can for the Emperor to get the job done. So they go to this city, and there he's told to take prisoners. He doesn't want to take prisoners. He poisons the water. He wipes out everybody.
God damn.
No reason, right?
That is
Spoil-
some Joker shit.
Yeah. And then when we get to the middle of the game, right, Emperor finds out where all the espers are at, starts taking their abilities, their magic. Kefka takes it for himself, kills the Emperor,
Oh shit.
and then he wipes out the entire world.
And this happens in the midpoint of the game?
Yes.
Oh, fuck. All
Right?
right.
So you spend hours getting all these characters,
Uh-huh.
learning where they come from, learning what the Emperor is trying to do, and the Emperor has obviously kind of won, but hey, he's not the villain. Kefka is, and he's been in the shadows. Yeah.
Pulling the strings.
Pulling the
basically.
strings, right?
Shit, okay.
And he says pretty much middle finger to the Emperor, you're not good enough. This is my power. And without reason, he just wipes it out. And these characters are all separated. So the next part of the game is, guess what? You're one character trying to find each character to come back together to stop Kefka.
God damn. Dude, okay, Josh, I feel like you sold me on this game. But like you do bring up that it is in like the Super Nintendo, right? Like, and people who are listening to this might think like, damn, this sounds like a game that came out on the fucking Xbox. Or it was like the way you're describing it, but it is an old game.
So
Does it
obviously
still hold up like that? That was gonna be my question, but
So a lot of young people, obviously, that aren't fans of 8-bit. It might be hard to really get into it, but I think one of the advantages of video games then versus now, especially Final Fantasy, was they were so invested in the story and the character development. As you read along, the story is just so deep. It's so beautiful. You care for these characters, and you want to see them succeed. And it's really interesting. Terra, who's the main character, who is half Esper, she was actually at one point. You find out that she was the Emperor used her as a soldier to wipe out people, using mind control.
Right.
And she's so young and not being full human or being amongst humans. She's like learning what it means to like love people, to have a family, because she's never had any of this growing up because she was a tool for the Emperor, So man, the story is just so great.
Dude, what's crazy is the way you so I mean, I have played a few Final Fantasy games. At least for me, one of the biggest downfalls, at least in my opinion, have been how overly complicated the stories can be. The world and the characters. This one sounds like
it is.
Oh shit! It's just a pretty not straightforward, but you can get into it.
It is. It's simple.
Yeah.
It brings a lot to the table. Again, it probably has out of all the Final Fantasy video games out there next to Final Fantasy VII, this probably has the best characters, whereas majority of the Final Fantasy games, I think you just like the main character, maybe one additional character on top of that.
Yeah.
And that's it. It is by far, and it was the last Final Fantasy game for Super Nintendo. The next one was 7,
came out
which
on
was
PlayStation.
PlayStation.
Yeah.
Fun fact about this game: when I first played it on the Super Nintendo, when I was in middle school, I got to the last stage of this game.
Yeah.
And my sister deleted my.
Are you serious? Your whole save file?
Yeah,
or?
my whole save file by accident.
This asshole also did that too when I was playing Neo, which is a Dark Souls-like game. And if you know anything about Dark Souls game, you invest a lot into it.
Oh yeah.
And this guy, he did it on accident, but fuck, man.
Worst feeling in the world.
Oh yeah. You did.
I know you're gonna bring up,
You did that to me, asshole. Okay, so I had to start all over.
Yeah, but hold on. Souls like Neo, a lot of that shit is randomly generated. Like the weapons you get, all that shit. Last of Us, I know I fucked up. I'm sorry, but you can kind of get. It's a good game. You can get through it again. I don't know why I'm trying to justify, but
Last of Us is an easy play, anyways. Come on.
Yeah, that's true. All right, do you wanna share one or what?
Did you get to your moment?
Oh no! All I was gonna say
Yeah, it was
that.
the moment
Yeah,
with the
well,
Emperor and the-
I never. Yeah, it got deleted, right? So, and I
that's
never
right.
played it again after that because I was like, oh, I invested so much time in it.
Yeah.
Why do I want to start over?
Uh-huh.
And then finally, I saw it for the Switch, and I was like,
It's time.
I gotta end it. I gotta play it.
It's like, guys, I know I'm gonna sound corny, but if you watch wrestling, do you watch wrestling, Josh? Are you into it right now?
Not right now, but I was.
You know what I mean with Cody Rhodes. I have to finish the story. That's what Josh was doing right there. He had to finish the story.
And you know what's crazy is even though I didn't finish it, I still labeled it as one of the greatest video games of all time.
Okay, an addendum to that though. When you didn't finish it that first time, as you grew up, where you're like, let me see the ending, or were you just like, did you not?
No.
Until you finally got.
Yeah. Never spoiled it. You know, I always had that itch in the back of my head that I need to play this game. You know, they released it for Steam. They released it for like Game Boy Advance. Just
It wasn't the right time.
wasn't that just you always have to be in the right moment to play a video game. Right?
Yeah,
You
I
ever
agree.
put in a video game, you're like, not the right time.
I agree.
Right?
I agree.
But
No, I think you told me too. Just like a side thing that like when you play Spider-Man, like once you get to the Mary Jane part, you just just turn off the console. I
I'm
do
done.
that too.
Breaking point.
Yeah, I was like, all right, this is a great stopping point. Mary Jane section. All right, I'm good. I do that too with the second one also. It's like even though the second one was they did better with Mary Jane.
Yeah. They said they were
section.
like, yeah, we improved that, and I was like, no, come on, man. No, nothing different.
We just
No one wants to play Mary
I
Jane.
want to play Spider-Man, dude. That's all. Okay. Do you want to get into one or? All right.
Well, I just want to go off where Josh said. Ain't that cool what video games do? You still remember those fucking moments, dude. The first time you bought the game, or like a certain moment in the game, all that shit, man. That's great. Well, sticking to like a complicated fucking story in video games, my moment is Metal Gear 4. Is it called Guns of the Patriots, right?
Yes.
I'm not gonna go into that shit. So fucking, we'll be here forever, and it's too much, right? So I'm just gonna get to my moment, but like
2-hour ending over
right?
here.
To me, like growing up with the first one, right, the first Metal Gear, and falling in love with that character, Solid Snake, it was good to see to get his closure, right, his own ending. But my moment was towards the end where he had to fight Ocelot / Liquidus Snake, and that whole thing fighting on top of that Metal Gear was so fucking cool, man. And I'm not sure. It's been a while since I played it, but I think it. I know that I don't think it does, but it cuts to them fighting, right? There's like a split screen, and I think you're right. And
Yeah.
and like Raiden's doing the same thing, and oh my god, Raiden's so fucking cool. He has no arms. He has he has his sword.
That was definitely a redemption,
right?
For
yes,
him. Absolutely.
That was so fucking cool. But no, yeah, him fighting on top of that Metal Gear, like it's like a full circle type of thing, you know. But at the same time, it leaves you like an open-ended story in a way. Well, technically, he's fucking dying. He's aging real fast, and towards the end, he meets Big Boss, and there's that whole thing where he talks about why there's clones and so on and so forth. And fuck, what's his name?
Don't forget he was about to kill himself too.
Yeah, he was.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, why live? No, I've done everything I could. I'm just about to die. And Big Boss stops him. Yep.
Yeah. So see that whole ending. Fuck it, that whole thing is good. But like, fuck, what's his name? The guy in the glasses.
Otacon. Mm-hmm.
And I think he his niece or some is that little girl. Yeah, it's that little girl. I don't know how he's related to her, but yeah, her. Yeah. Yeah. Just tells him like where he's going, and he's just gonna go and like do his own thing, or whatever, right? So kind of it leaves you open to it, like maybe he will survive, or he is gonna live and die somewhere peacefully, because he's done everything. So yeah, that's one of my moments.
No, I was gonna say, and then obviously Hideo Kojima just stopped after 5. And did you play 5, Josh?
I played the first 30 minutes and I was like,
It's not.
There's the Ground Zero and
Yeah, which one did you play? Ground Zeroes or
the
Phantom
the
Pain?
com- the both.
Oh, okay,
combined
okay,
the
okay,
both,
okay.
yeah.
All right, yeah, that's a good moment, dude.
I gotta
Yeah.
add to that.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Because you're right. Metal Gear is so epic, but the thing is, what's so epic about Metal Gear is it has so many great scenes, especially going back to, man, this is gonna be a long podcast.
No, go for it, dude. We're here. We're
well,
already into it. So.
When he's crawling through that nuclear tunnel. And
Oh,
he's like,
the microwave corridor.
the microwave core, yeah, and he's like burning.
Oh
and
my
you don't know if he's
God.
gonna survive, and
Yeah.
you're just hitting zero. And you're watching him struggle.
Oh my God, man, yeah.
And then another scene. I'm gonna just spitball certain scenes. When you go back to the
Shadow Moses.
and it
Fuck.
goes to like the
Oh,
old
I just got
PS1
shivers, dude.
graphics.
I just
Yeah,
got
and then he's laying asleep on the helicopter, and he's like the old Metal Gear 8-bit
Fuck,
face
dude.
or whatever, and then he wakes up and it goes back to the better graphics.
Yeah.
I love that scene. Oh man, so many great
That was
moments.
good. And that was just from one game, man.
Yes.
That's just one game. I think I might as well, because we're already on the topic of Metal Gear, but
Do you have Metal Gear great moments too?
yeah.
So do I. So we might as well just actually.
Might as well just get into it. This one just sticks out more recent because I did finish Metal Gear Solid 2, but the moment where sort of the veil gets uncovered and you like Colonel starts to like glitch out on you when you're playing as Raiden. And he keeps calling you, and he's like, "It's just a game, right?" And just like always, and then Rose calls and is like, "Just turn off the game. You've been playing for too long. Like, what the fuck is happening?" And then like, obviously that moment, I've seen it like in YouTube videos and everything, so it doesn't hit the same way as I'm sure it hit, like if you played it for the first time and that happens to you, you're like, what a complete fucking mindfuck, dude. Like just from that moment, almost like towards the end. The game just goes fucking bonkers in the best Kojima way possible, dude. Like that, I fucking love that part. That was like one of my favorite parts in MGS 2. Obviously, the moment in 3 where you're climbing up the ladder and the music starts to play.
Oh yes. It's like
such a-
forever.
Yeah, it's such a small
forever
moment,
climb.
but the music playing, you climbing the ladder, you're like, oh, this is fucking peak right now. This shit is fucking good.
I would add to 3 because it has that 007 feel to it.
Yeah.
So like when you escape and then you get away with Eve and you're in the cabin,
Yeah.
right? You know what they're about to do, and then she screws them over and takes the whatever, right?
Uh-huh.
That 007 feel, with the music was so memorable as well.
Just on top of that too, like the fact that Snake doesn't like 007 movie, like he doesn't enjoy those.
Right.
And I forget who the guy is that's like talking to you. The he's like the colonel of the third one.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, what if we made you you don't like 007, you don't like the guns and how they're all looking all like it's a pen, but it's a gun, Snake. We could do that for you too. We can make something that looks like a snake. And like, oh my god, like Kojima, dude. Like, just on the topic of Kojima, like that game. I love that guy, right? Kojima's a great, like, obviously he's a genius at what he does. But there's moments in 2 and 3, and I'm not, like, I'm just pulling out of my ass here. I'm just making something up. But, like, if you, like, equip the new gun in a Metal Gear Solid game, good luck. Because the next 15 minutes is going to be like, oh, well, the gun was manufactured in Russia, and it uses this type of ammunition. So make sure that when you're shooting an enemy, that you don't shoot them and it doesn't hit something. Like, come on, guys. Like, just let me keep playing the game. Why you have to explain every little like detail? It's just
Metal Gear 3 also had one of the greatest opening scenes, from the Halo jump.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, actually, that was afterwards, was it? Or was
No,
it
no,
the start?
that's how it started. Yeah,
So the Halo jump, and then meeting your what's her name, boss.
Yeah,
Was
Boss.
she-
Yeah, her
she
name
was
was
just-
just Boss.
She was just Boss, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then she betrays you.
That was I'm playing through it now. Still got me, dude.
Yeah, and the way she
like,
pretty
oh.
much throws you off the bridge, leaves you for death.
She does
and-
it again when you're like going back, and you've healed up. You run into Boss, and she fucks you up again. She like destroys your gun, tells you to go home. This isn't like I'm like shit, dude. Snake goes through a lot. In 3, he gets his ass handed to him, but it's like that evolution. You finally get to see him. Yeah, it feels like we're doing the retrospective.
I know.
Metal Gear.
Fuck anything else. This is about Metal Gear.
Yeah, no, MGS2. That moment is the one I had on there. But yeah. Oh yeah, he just
I feel
spitballed
like
a whole bunch.
I've been
He
like
spitballed a whole
word
bunch.
vomiting. Yeah, we're all over the place with this because Edgar, dude.
All right, so I guess I did my. Go ahead, Josh. What's your next favorite?
Well, I
game
want to add one more. We didn't talk about Metal Gear 1.
The classic.
God, for
Fuck,
PlayStation
man.
1.
Yeah.
If we're gonna spitball Metal Gear. Thanks, Edgar.
All right, for a moment,
Dude, this
we're
is
gonna-
solid, man. You are king of this subject, man. Dude,
It's-
Psycho Mantis playing with you.
How do I not have that on my fucking list?
I can't fight Psycho Mantis. Oh, take controller port 1 and put it in port 2. Now he can't read your mind.
Fuck,
Is
that's
so
so good.
freaking smart.
And can we just also never been done since?
No.
No game can do that to this day. For as much as we have this technology with like Xbox, PS5, nothing beats that type of immersive moment like that. Just breaks the fourth wall, dude. It's so good. And the fact that one of the moments that me and Edgar and I guess even our brothers too, like that moment where like you're getting electrocuted or whatever, and you're just like tapping the fucking button to save your life, and just like
And you can't use the cheat one too.
oh yeah.
If you use the one that the trigger where it
Uh-huh.
puts it on repeat and you hold it, he
Yep.
recognizes it and it kills you automatically.
Yeah, that's so fucking good, man. That is so good. Yeah, Metal Gear 1. Also such a great game.
Fun fact too is actually I don't think actually I don't know if this is I think I am right on this. Hajimo. What the
Oh,
fuck?
Hideo Kojima.
Hideo.
You like combined his name, Kojima.
He didn't do the Nintendo ones,
No.
and they were like not really well received.
Mm-mm.
And I played them. I popped the
Oh, really?
the
Master Collection.
The Master Collection.
Yeah.
I tried it and I'm like, oh, this is so fucking annoying. I'm not gonna fucking play this.
Yeah.
But if you read history on it, it wasn't that good. It wasn't that well received. He took over it, and he fucking made it great.
Dude, he made those games canon also. So
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
that's Kojima.
So huge
dude.
props.
Mhm.
Huge props. Could we
Yeah.
say that's probably one of the greatest series of all time?
I agree. Even the ones that you were like, because I know a lot of people don't mess with 5 as much. They don't like it's probably like the weakest one. Some people say, but all of them, dude, all of them have their own like unique.
Sorry, I think 4 is. I think what people say is not great.
Yeah, a
but
lot of
like,
people dislike
just
4.
because it's
Yeah.
most. Yeah. Cutscenes, yeah.
And huge props for David Hayter. He will
Yeah.
forever be
Yeah.
Snake.
Yeah, and I told Josh. I told did I tell you I met David Hayter?
You've told me, but tell the world.
Oh my God! Look, I met him last year at Comic-Con. He was such a great guy, and he signed this print that I bought for my friend because he's also a huge fan, and he signed the MGS1 game that we have outside there, and oh man, he after we were done, he was like, he did it in this. I'm gonna fucking butcher it, but he did it in the Snake voice, like, "You're looking good." And I was like, oh, God. I blushed in front of my girlfriend, and like, she must have been very like, "Calm down, you're with me, not with him." But this is Snake, and he told me I'm looking good, dude. Come on. It was, yeah, man, yeah. He's such a great fucking voice actor.
Oh, absolutely.
On those
so
games.
iconic.
I know you're gonna bring it up, but he also did the X-Men 2, right? He wrote.
He was a writer.
X-Men 2, so
Absolutely. Great talent.
multi-talented, you know?
He was in The Guyver.
Yeah.
And there is a scene in the Guyver. Those of you, if you've ever seen the Guyver, it's like Power Rangers, but it's more bloody, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a scene where he jumps off this bridge and he's like Guyver, and he does it in Solid Snake.
Dude, that's so fucking
I remember
good.
like I recognized that, and I was like, rewind.
Just put it on repeat.
Just kept rewinding it.
Yeah, and like as much as I appreciate Kiefer Sutherland's like take on Big Boss in 5,
Meh.
just does not pales in comparison, dude.
No.
Imposter. But I feel like everyone's, oh, I knew that. When I read, it's like, I didn't know that. But the cool thing about that, right? I even told you in the trailers for Metal Gear 5, he puts it there and without like
It's like right in front
and right in your face. Like, well, I don't know what. There's like 5 trailers on that shit. But one of the trailers is when Big Boss is on, not him, but it's the point of view of Big Boss, or I don't know. Who's the guy who says they played me like a damn fiddle? Miller. Miller's talking and he looks toward. He's like, well, what about him? Right, and it's like he's talking towards you, like you're gonna be the next, yeah. So like it was so cool to notice that, like yeah, like he, like even in the trailers, Kojima was like fucking with you, you know.
Yeah, he was. I guess if you would allow me to, related to Kojima, one of my other favorite moments in gaming was this is not Metal Gear, but the entirety of PT. Have you played PT?
What's?
Silent Hills, the demo that came out that Kojima was supposed to
No,
make.
I didn't. I've seen videos on it.
Oh man, yeah. So at one point before Phantom Pain came out, yeah, this is one of my favorite moments. Is Kojima was gonna make the next Silent Hill game, and his idea for it was to make Silent Hill like a whole, like expand it. It's called it Silent Hills, and there was a demo that came out that was free. It kind of like shadow dropped, and people played it. No one knew what it was. It was just like a, they didn't even know Kojima was related to it. So it was like a horror demo for a game, and people were like, "Oh, this is kind of, this whatever. It's kind of cool, and it's like kind of a little complicated to get through the demo, or whatever." And then once you finish the demo, you see that the character you were playing all along was Norman Reedus, and he's walking down this fucking street, and then you see the name Hideo Kojima, then you see Guillermo del Toro, and then you see Norman Reedus, and then Norman Reedus turns around, you see his face, and the Silent Hill music starts to play, and it's Kojima that's gonna take over Silent Hill, and it was like such a fucking moment, man. Everybody was so hyped for Kojima to like be like, he's perfect for Silent Hill. Like, there's a lot of horror in Metal Gear. Like, a lot of people forget.
Yeah.
There are some moments in Metal Gear that are like, they fuck with you, dude. He's perfect.
You
for
know,
Silent Hill.
it's interesting. Like you explained that so well, and thinking about how he markets. and how he, like brings out like Metal Gear 5. Yeah. No one knew it was going to be Metal Gear 5.
It was like made by a different studio or
yeah,
some
and
shit.
then it was called something else, and then everyone was like, "That's Snake." That's actually Snake, and this is this, and there were so many like, and the way he like trolls his fans.
He's so fucking good, dude.
It's so good, but not in a way where he disrespects us, but he gets you engaged and
engaged,
you know?
exactly. Yeah, and that's how PT was, you know, and it obviously for people who know about it or don't know about it, it didn't come to fruition. There was a fallout between Kojima and Konami. But yeah, it's like the fact that he was gonna make a Silent Hill game with Norman Reedus, which, with your opinions aside, for whatever people think of him, and Guillermo del Toro, like such a fucking collaboration, man. And Junji Ito too, which is like a famous manga horror writer and artist. It was like Konami had it, man. They had it in their fucking palm of their hands, and they just. Oh man, they screwed it over.
Quick. It was just a demo, dude. And look at the impression and left. There's a lot of people replicating, like copying it, and just a demo, dude. You know, to this day, people are still trying to capture that fucking moment. So,
So you never played the demo, right, Josh?
No, I've YouTubed it.
You seen people play it,
Mm-hmm.
so you know that like you can't download it anymore.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, like consoles that do have it go for a lot of more money. It's just crazy. Like over a demo, man. It's not even a full game, and it's more terrifying, I would say, than most horror games that have come out during that time. And you could finish it in like 15 minutes. You know, if you know what you're doing. I guess we could talk like the game itself. There's moments where you're like, the fact that you find out that Lisa, that tall lady that's fucking like chasing after you and shit, the fact that she's behind you the entire time while you're playing the demo, and you didn't know that until someone had to like jailbreak the game to see that she's behind you. The entire demo is so fucking like, so unsettling, man. It's just, yeah, the Kojima really, it's one of those things that will never be, you know. And then he did Death Stranding, which, have you played Death Stranding?
Looks exhausting. No.
It is basically Amazon, the video game. You're just fucking delivering packages. Yeah. I think we'll discuss more about Death Stranding, because I think well, we'll wait. Yeah. But go ahead, Josh. I think, do we have any more Kojima moments, or are you gonna jump onto another?
We'll skip it. As much as I feel that it hurts to move on from Metal Gear, dude. Edgar, man.
You just dropped the fucking bomb,
dude,
on our conversation.
Literally, Edgar's story. You know, greatest horror movies of all time. You know, he's on the bottom, and then he starts moving up with greatest movies,
like
and then Metal Gear. Edgar, you're the king of this podcast. I'm giving it to you, my man.
You're like Drake, started from
Respect.
the bottom. Now you're here, man.
Mic drop. Right? Hand him the mic so he can drop it.
No, that's too expensive. I don't want you to drop this mic.
So my next one, I'll just check Metal Gear off here. I'm going to contradict myself, and maybe I'm going to steal this from you.
No, go ahead, Josh.
The zombie reveal from Resident Evil.
That was on the top of my fucking list, dude.
Sorry.
You know what? I thought you were gonna bring up the liquor encounter in Resident Evil 2. I thought that was gonna be one of your moments.
Liquor.
Yeah, the liquor in Resident Evil 2. Have you played 2?
Yeah.
The original? Yeah, when you're like.
Oh shit! I forgot about that scene. Every time I think about Resident Evil, those are the two scenes I do remember, like that stand out the most. I apologize, but like the reveal of the zombie. The chase,
is iconic, dude.
Yeah, the chase, right? You don't know what's going on, where these guys are coming from. They're getting chased by dogs. They end up in this house. The house is empty. The acting is bad. I don't give a fuck.
Awful, dude.
You know, they only move like this.
Yeah, they do. Me and Edgar always play. They always do this shit with their fucking hands.
And they did the remaster, and they still did it. Okay,
but it's kind of iconic though. It's kind of iconic, Josh. Like that's.
It's a freaking remake, man. Anyways, you go to the hall.
Yeah.
I forget what you're looking for.
You're just exploring at this point.
Yeah, you're exploring, right?
Yeah.
And then you see someone over someone else.
Yeah, hunched over. Yeah.
And then it cuts to scene, and it turns over, and it's a fucking zombie.
Terrifying fucking zombie.
Terrifying. The fuck is going on outside?
Dude, someone's getting shot out there.
Or beaten on a drum.
No, someone's getting shot.
Seriously?
I'm not kidding. We can distinguish shots over like fireworks here in this neighborhood. Is it still going? I have my headphones on, so I gotta.
No, it stopped.
That was so close by. Goddamn, what a way to put a stop on the podcast here for a sec.
Greatest two brothers and friends moment.
Oh shit! This might be the last time.
Yeah, guys, we're doing this at my house moving forward. Okay.
Oh my god, this is terrifying.
And if my wife listens to this, she's not gonna allow me to come over anymore. Okay.
Is it going still? No, it's gone, right?
It's gone.
Gosh, that was so close. That was a drive-by, dude.
No, they were probably like scaring someone off, shooting in the air.
Yeah.
No one was screaming.
No.
Right?
It is a normal occurrence here, guys. So let's go ahead and go back. This happened. I know it's off topic. This happened like a few months back too, when we were like asleep. You remember that? And I was high. Bad choice to be high. To hear fucking gunshots literally right next to you. Couldn't go to sleep the rest of the night.
Hugging your Kirby over there? Or what?
Yeah.
So, okay, back to
All right, sorry. Resident Evil, yes.
Yeah.
That's probably how you would shoot that zombie. You fucking empty your whole fucking clip.
They were like, fuck yeah, Resident Evil.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
In the
That
head.
first zombie? Yeah, there you go.
I don't know if you lost your track or your train of thought. Sorry, after what just happened, but fuck, that was crazy. No, the thing about that one, the first one especially, is like it doesn't like once it reveals the first zombie, like it's scary, right? Then you go to I think you go across the hall. Remember, you had to push a fucking statue or whatever. And you go to that little corner in the room, and you leave the corner of the room, and it's like a cutscene, and there's a zombie. It's like, what the fuck? Yeah. And if you unlock the door in that hallway, is the dog that jumps out the window. It's like it doesn't stop,
But like a little fact for who do play it, there's a way in the remake for you to not trigger that. If you just don't go in that room, obviously it doesn't get triggered. But if you go on the opposite side, it also doesn't trigger it. You can still go in that hallway and it doesn't happen. It only happens if you go through the door the right way, and then that's how you know that, or that's when it gets triggered. But I was actually gonna on what you said with the
Don't go outside.
Yeah, hey, don't go outside, Edgar. Okay. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, dude, that zombie encounter in Resident Evil. When you think of that, is it the original that comes to mind or the remake that comes?
It's always the original.
Always the
It
original?
always has to be the original. For me, it always starts from the source, the first time playing, and as bad as Resident Evil is, and they acknowledge how bad they were, you overlook how bad it is.
Yeah.
And going back to what Edgar was saying on it never stops, right? And what's funny is like the traps of the house play a big part of it too.
Yeah.
Go into a room, you close the door. Oh shit, this wall's enclosing with spikes. I'm fucking dead. You know? So you're not just dealing with zombies, you're dealing with epic monsters.
It's so fucking
You're dealing
good,
with the traps of the mansion.
Yeah, and you know what I like about the remake too is the Crimson Heads. The ones that run at you after you kill them. Because there's a mechanic in the remake where if you kill a zombie, you have to like burn it. And if you don't burn it, that zombie comes back to life. So you have to deal with it again, but they're much more stronger. They run after you. Yeah. And as a player coming after the original onto the remake, you think it's going to be like a 1-to-1 remake. So when you kill zombies, you're like, whatever, I just leave it. It's fine. And then you see that the zombie... What?
No, we're doing it live.
Why? What
Put
happened?
all that in.
What? Is there any update? Was our dogs out there? Layla was outside. Oh, he's traumatized, dude. He's traumatized. He hates loud noises. No, I was telling Josh about the Crimson Zombies in the remake. That's a moment too, right? Yeah, because you think that you can just deal with the zombies and just keep on moving, but in the remake, if you don't deal with it, if you don't burn it, they'll come back and they're much more stronger. And it's just like this risk-reward thing, right? Because like you have limited inventory space, so you can only carry so much. You can only carry the kerosene if you're like, the lighter if you're one character or the other. It's just so, oh man, yeah. Resident Evil 1. I mean, obviously, me and Josh will disagree. I think the remake is leagues better than the original. I mean,
I don't disagree. Obviously, it has its moments, and I'll talk more about the remakes a little bit later.
Okay, all right.
But we got to talk about the liquors, obviously, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Because
The
that's a
liquors,
big
yeah.
step from the going from zombies, now you're dealing with these
Just-
fucking monsters.
Dude, what was your reaction in that moment when you
the
first
fuck
played
is this? The fuck is this?
Yeah,
what the
that's-
fuck am I looking at here?
it? That sounds about right, dude.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're running around and you're dodging all these, like, because you're in the crash, right? There's a fire outside.
Yeah.
You're trying to get to the police station. You're running around and you're dodging all these zombies, right? Nothing new. And then you go into the police house. Obviously, they're doing the same setup as Resident Evil 1.
Yeah.
But they're not giving you a zombie. It's
They're
the
giving
fucking,
you a fucking liquor.
Yeah, they're giving you
And
a
what's
fucking
cool
liquor.
is before you get into that room, the window beside you, you just see it just briefly
Oh, yeah,
just
Yep.
crawl across. Like, what the fuck is that? It's like, maybe that's a boss. I don't have to deal with it soon. Like, no, you're going to deal with it right now. And let's see how you deal with it.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah. And if you're an expert, you can just bob and weave that bitch and just keep on moving. Yeah, dude, that liquor scene is...
And then Resident Evil 3, they step it up, and you
Oh.
you don't even know until you Nemesis right around the corner.
Yeah.
Fight or run. Fuck, I'm a run.
Dude,
Always run.
still terrifying to
Yes,
this day. It's random.
That game was so stressful.
Yeah, which made remake of 3 so disappointing because it just doesn't have that element.
Well, no. I agree, but the way they set up Nemesis is like with what's his name, Brad. He's telling you, there's this thing chasing us. We gotta get out. And da 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 da. Right. And when you get to the RPD, and you finally fucking see him drop, it's like he said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna run. I'm not gonna." And yeah, and he chases you throughout the fucking the city and shit. Yeah, it's
So funny too, because it's like such classic, like old, vintage video games. Because it's like all stupid pixelated, and then this gray screen, if my memory serves me right, pops up on the bottom.
Yeah.
It's like run or fight,
Yeah.
and you're like,
And you only get so much time to do it and everything. Yeah, it's God, man, that's so great. I also just want to point out while that was happening, the Josh was just still focused on the moment. For a minute there, he was just like, "Yeah, so you're Resident Evil 1." And then after it stops, like, what was that? Like, your reaction time was just. Yeah.
That's my fucking childhood right there, man. I get immune to that shit. I'm just kidding.
Okay, yeah, no, Resident Evil 1. I do.
I am paranoid sitting next to this window, though.
I was gonna. Yeah, we would be fine. These are good windows. No, that might.
Bulletproof? What?
Just like to top it off with Resident Evil, the village section in RE4.
Oh yeah.
Come on, man. Like,
So, what makes Village? Actually, let's not talk about Village. Let's talk about 7, right?
No, he's talking about Resident Evil 4 when you enter the village.
Oh, okay. I thought we were
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about
yeah.
7. No.
well, I was gonna bring up 7 in a second, but like just that opening.
When you're like
you know,
fighting off
when
all
you're
the
fighting
people,
off, yeah,
that
Dr. Salvador
yeah,
shows up with
yep.
the chainsaw.
kick. They added kick.
Yeah, and in the remake they added parry, which made the 4th one a lot more harder to play. The original. I mean,
Well, we'll get to that one
yeah,
later.
we'll get to it in a second. But, dude, so we can agree that 4 was the peak and also killed the franchise for a minute there. And it shows, man, like the fact that it starts off at 10.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
you're just going through and you're like, you think you know, but you don't know. It changes everything. The camera perspective, now it's over the shoulder. It's just so fucking good, man. And it's so intense too. Like, I remember I had to pass it off to Edgar because I couldn't do that. I was like, this is too much. I'm hearing the fucking chainsaw. People are calling me stupid. I don't like it. They're telling me to turn around. I don't know what's going on. God, man. And then 7. I mean, you've played 7, right?
7 was so good. Obviously, it was like a way of how do we bring back Resident Evil, you know? And the great thing is when you go into the house, it's normal people.
Yeah.
And they're not so fucking normal. And you're getting stalked by Dad or whoever he is in the house.
Jack.
Yeah, he's like around every corner. The stress of that.
Dude, you remember the moment where you're like, after all that shit happens, the intro, and you're exploring the house, and you go through, and he just pops out of a wall. I had to fucking like stop.
And the fact that he was
Like, I
like,
just-
that he can talk to you and he's a fucking psychopath
Yeah.
on top of it stresses you the
Oh.
fuck out.
It's so fucking. Oh man.
Question
And
though. Question.
What?
Third person or did you like the first person better?
I was a bit. It was a bit jarring for me to play in first person. I was like, I don't know, man. I feel like they're trying to capitalize on a lot of the first person horror games that came out. But
I feel like it's also a way of saving money
yeah,
because they were also going down a little
that's
bit.
true. But hey, it kind of worked, man.
It did. It
It
did.
worked. Yeah, it felt. It gave. That whole opening sequence when you're getting chased by your girlfriend, and she cuts your fucking hand off with the chainsaw,
Yes. Yes.
and you're like, what the fuck? And then you get it reattached, and it's just, dude, the rule book is just thrown out the window. Everything that you thought about Resident Evil games just gets subverted, you know?
And with that, you can tell they saw Evil Dead.
Oh,
This
yes.
is-
Yes.
We're going
yes.
for the wacky horror
Good point.
fucking shit.
Good point.
The cabin and all that shit. Yeah. So yeah, I think we saw that, and I think they did say that. It's like we saw Evil Dead, we saw some movies.
Oh, by the way, it ends up on a boat. Don't forget.
Yeah.
Don't forget, it ends up on a boat
That is true.
out of nowhere. Out of
Uh,
fucking nowhere.
As much as Josh hates this, it is a moment in gaming when Chris punches that fucking boulder in RE5.
I was actually gonna bring that up.
Oh, you were?
We cannot forget about the moment where
So over the
Chris
top, man.
gets his stupid strength and he's moving the ball.
Edgar looks so
fucking
uncomfortable
dumb.
right now because Chris is his favorite character. So, I mean, how did you feel about that when you saw when you had to do that for the first time?
I didn't really care about it at that point. I was like, I'm done. I'm done. Howard, you know, like you said, he's my favorite character. When I was so hyped. Even since I was what 16, 17 years old. I didn't care for it. I didn't care for the whole fucking game. It killed it for me. I can't play to this day.
Well, it was like 4, and they try to like
they
try to like one up 4.
And,
They're like, oh, we'll add a partner,
uh-huh.
and you have to play with somebody because if you rely on the computer, they get lost in the corner.
Yeah.
You're like, come here, bitch. Come here. What are you doing? You know.
She uses her health items on you when you're like,
Yeah.
you're so good, and you're just like, let me top you off.
Yeah.
The story was weak.
The way, everything. I feel like
it was the start of cheese too. They got extremely cheesy.
I feel like they didn't how do you say they didn't level their levels right, if that makes sense, right? You're in a village, you end up in a fucking jungle, you end up in a factory. It's like it's all over the place. As where Resident Evil 4, it was like well not well connected, but you was still, you know, contained. This one was like, oh, you're gonna be over here now, fucking miles away. He's like, what the fuck, man? Like, I don't know. I can't play that fucking game to this day.
All right, well, I mean,
he already said his moment, it's my moment, asshole.
oh shit, that's right, dude. Okay, go ahead.
Damn, Alberto.
Yeah, dude.
just so into it right now.
Sticking to zombies real quick. He's gonna take a little break here.
Go ahead, guys.
The Walking Dead, the Telltale series, the season 1. I don't know if Josh played it or anyone else.
I have.
Oh, you did? And whoever's played it out there. To me, I played it recently. Still holds up. And that's top, like, storytelling to me. You know? But the thing with Telltale games, your choices don't fucking matter. So just go along with it, right? But besides that, you know, Lee didn't take the spotlight. It was Clementine. You know, because even to this day, I feel like she made her mark in video game like character history. Yeah. The more I'm going to talk about is the end. You know. Yeah. Fucking hell, dude! It pulls on your heartstrings because once you met her in the beginning of the game, she was just an innocent little girl, not knowing what's going on around her. And as Lee, you gotta protect her, or make her grow up, basically. Teach her how to shoot a gun, how to notice bad people, good people, all that shit, right? And she's, damn. I'll bring up that moment later. No, but at the end when she has to fucking kill him, it kind of you were there. I fucking started crying because it was touching. Like because I think you get an option to like cut your hand or not. I think I did not the first time, and not knowing like, hey, I think if I cut my hand, Lee was surviving. It doesn't matter, right? So, but seeing Lee towards the end, like, see him like getting, basically turning into a fucking zombie, but still searching for Clementine, like having that strength until he knows he's safe. He can like let go, and that the ending was impactful. There's no way to admit it. Like, she's one of the best. I just real quick, there's another one that kind of was good. It was I don't know if it was season 2 or 3, but she's older now. She gets injured and she falls into, not a coma, but she falls asleep. Unconscious, yeah. And she has a dream about Lee. And it was that moment in the van in the first season, and they have this little little talk and everything, and she's basically as her little version of herself telling Lee like, I'm scared, I don't know what to do. And Lee say, you'll get the hang, I taught you a lot, and this and that, and yeah, that was a good moment too. To me, I just wanna. If all these dumb fucking spin-offs of Walking Dead, they should have done that, a live action. That's my thought.
No, and I was gonna add to that, like, it never got topped, dude.
That put Telltale on the map too, actually.
Yeah.
Because they had that the Big Bad Wolf one.
Oh, the Wolf Among Us.
Wolf Among Us, which is so fucking good. That came out right after Walking Dead, right?
No, that came first, I thought. No?
No, it came out after season 2, I believe.
Oh, okay, never mind then. I thought it came first, but yeah.
Yeah, they're so good too. Yeah, the Wolf Among Us is so good. But yeah, it just never got topped, I don't think. Yeah. I just feel like that was unfortunately for me, Telltale's was like that. They put it on the map, and they make some good ones after that, like Wolf Among Us and Tales from the Borderlands and shit. But it never recovered after that. Lee, the whole relationship with Clementine and Lee was just so special to fans. Just could never be replicated. I agree, that was a good moment too. Speaking about like zombie, or Josh, do you have one, or who's taking turns?
That's you, man.
I'm kind of scatterbrained, but
that whole Metal Gear thing just threw us off.
Oh
like,
my god! But it was so good though. It was such a and the drive-by. But staying on like zombie apocalypse stuff. The last level of The Last of Us, dude. When you have to go save Ellie, that was such a fucking moment, man. The whole game definitely feels like it's on the rails. It's just kind of, you're just on this journey. But man, that part where you have to fight a whole bunch of people in that hospital, and you're just committing this fucking horrendous atrocity, killing all these fucking guys, and just trying to save Ellie. Dude, I was Joel in that fucking moment, dude. Like, no other game, I don't think, made me feel like I was in the shoes of a character other than The Last of Us, in my opinion. Like, it was just, the first one was just so fucking well done. And so, in one of the only games that from Naughty Dog that I can just replay over and over again. I don't know if you have that with The Last of Us, but it's like the first one, just infinitely replayable. What do you remember that moment?
I played it once. I've never really finished it.
You weren't a huge fan of the first one?
Just was not. I'm not a zombie fan. Absolutely.
Okay. I can respect that.
I'm not a fan of Naughty Dog setup too. unfortunately.
Really?
Really not. You know?
You think it's just like too linear, too like
If I want to play a video game and enjoy it like a movie,
just watch a movie. Is that what you're gonna say?
you know?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know? So, but don't get me wrong. I think the controls are a little wonky, you know? Like the shooting and all that stuff. I feel the same way with like Nathan Drake. You know, it's obviously made to push 0 to jump over here. You know?
Yeah, I do kind of tend to agree.
You know?
It feels
Not saying that it's not a great game. A lot of people identify it as epic, but it's just never really grabbed into me. So that one, unfortunately, I cannot relate to. You know,
you can't speak on.
Can't speak to it, guys.
I mean, for me, I feel like that was such a huge highlight, and it stayed with me too from that moment. I mean, the whole game really, but that moment specifically was.
I will say the intro is pretty epic.
Yeah,
you know?
the intro's also iconic.
The relationship between the brother, the daughter, you know, the chaos of where the world's at,
like,
trying to get away.
Dude, what a way to start a fucking game.
Yeah,
What a way to
that
kick it off.
is pretty epic.
Edgar was there when I played it for the first time, and when the title like screen came on, I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be a moment, dude, like in history and games. Like we're witnessing it. Like this is gonna be fucking good." And it is, man. Like, I love the Uncharted games. I'm not like a uber fan of it. Yeah, but that Last of Us, I feel like that was just the exception, you know, to the rule for Naughty Dog games. And
I will say it did put a lot of games on the map, like chances of winning an Oscar in cinematography, right?
Yeah.
Without that movie Last of Us, there would be no God of War.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed.
You know? So
we can even say, dude, the Walking Dead came out in 2012, a year before The Last of Us. That did it first.
yeah,
That whole relationship with like two characters and everything. Yeah, I feel like you gotta give props to The Walking Dead. It's really good. Yeah, that was another moment I was gonna just speak on, because I don't know, man. That was the one that really stuck out to me with The Last of Us. You know, the intro, as Josh mentioned, and then the end. I enjoyed the rest of the game too, but yeah, those are the highlights, man.
No, I think another one that I think everyone agrees to in the first one is when Joel, Ellie leaves. You remember she runs away for a minute. You gotta go get her, and there's this what do you want to call it, an argument with them, and he just blatantly says it to her. "You're not my daughter," right, or something like that. Oh no, he's talking about her daughter, and they're like having this little argument. And he's like, "You don't know nothing about loss." And like, that was cool how they did that in the show too. That was fucking great. But that was like, to me, I just felt like Joel didn't understand where she was coming from too. Like she also lost people, like she said. And I think in that moment on, he kind of felt bad what he said.
You started taking on that.
Yeah, he took. Yeah.
didn't a lot of people were like petitioning for what's his face, Troy Barker,
Or Troy Baker, yeah.
to actually be nominated for an Oscar or something like that for The
Yeah,
Last of Us.
I think it was something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, he did a fantastic job in that game for sure. And we don't talk about part 2 because that one's not that great. So we're going to go ahead and move on from The Last of Us. Josh, what's another moment you got? Because I still got a few.
We all got to talk about Spider-Man, Marvel Spider-Man.
I'm glad you're the one that brought. I didn't put it on my list, but I'm glad.
The first one. Come on. The death of Aunt May.
That shit took me off guard, man.
That
you need a minute there? Or what?
Very unexpected.
Yeah.
You know, and it's probably argued as one of the greatest Spider-Man movies of all time for being a video game. Man, I just played it, and I hope I don't butcher this, and correct me if I'm wrong. But he approaches her as Spider-Man,
Takes off the
and
mask, yeah.
she tells him to take off his mask,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
she's like, "I've known this whole time."
Yeah, like let me
It's
see my,
okay.
let me see
Yeah.
my, yeah. It was like, oh
And
my God.
oh man, and then the thing about Spider-Man, what makes him so unique and why he's so relatable is all of the things that he does that is just where he slips and misses the ball. It
Yeah.
affects his life so drastically. You know, and he puts all this weight and burden in his shoulders,
Yeah.
and that game did such a fucking well
He
done
did, man.
executing that, you know, not just with Aunt May, but also with the buildup of Doc Ock
Yeah.
becoming a villain. You know,
Mhm.
obviously they foreshadow him becoming Doc Ock in the beginning, but you see their relationship and all this stuff, and you know, he tells him, oh, Doc Ock is obviously acting like an idiot, and he's like, "Oh, you obviously help out Spider-Man, and you do all this other
Yeah.
stuff." But he knows that he's Spider-Man,
Right.
and you know,
But they did such a good job at making you even believe for a minute, like Doc Ock, like he ain't gonna be Doctor Octopus. He's a good guy. Like,
yeah,
Like, so even when he does turn, and you know he's gonna turn, it's like it still kind of hits you. You know, you're like, "Fuck, I didn't
Yeah.
want you to become the fucking bad guy, but here we go." You know, and yeah, man, it he saved the day, but it came at the cost of his Aunt May, and it was just so. Yeah, I wasn't ready for that, man.
yeah, and even I gotta throw in Marvel Spider-Man 2. You know, it had great scenes from Miles Morales. You know, what is he gonna do with what's his face that killed his father?
Oh yeah, I forget his name, but
Yeah, you know,
Mr. Negative. I think
Mr.
his name.
Negative, right? You
Yeah.
know, like he has an opportunity to kill him.
Yep.
You know, like coming to terms with, you know, the person
Who
you know,
killed his father?
killed his father, you know,
Yeah.
and Peter Parker getting the suit from Harry, being an asshole, causing Harry
Yeah.
to rightfully so hate Peter Parker,
Uh-huh.
him becoming Venom, Peter Parker's fault, you know, and then at the end of the game, he goes in this coma. Whose fault is it?
Yeah. That's it.
Peter Parker,
man.
Spider-Man's fault, you
Yeah,
know, and
yeah.
he is always to blame for everything that happens in the world, and they just do such a fucking great job. And then those Mary Jane scenes, oh man, so memorable.
You're messing around with that one, right, Josh?
Dear God, so forgettable.
Come on. I will say, I know it's gonna be like, I don't know, man. Spider-Man 2 is not as replayable as the first one. Now I feel like, you know,
I would still put it up there though.
I'll
is
put it up
still
there for sure.
good,
Yeah,
you know?
I just feel like
You
if
say
that,
no.
he
No.
was disappointed by it too.
Wow.
I think I enjoyed too. But yeah, I just feel like when I want to replay it, like I don't want to go through that fucking dumb scene where they're riding bikes again. Dude, like it was a great moment the first time. I don't know if I want to do it the second time.
That was annoying. But that's the problem, like with a lot of these games, again, being set up like movies.
Yeah,
That's what it's gonna give you.
yeah.
Extremely unnecessary moments.
Yeah, that's true. But I like that one. Yeah, that was a good moment.
You
What do you got? Do you got another one, or should I go? All right, here we go.
Okay, it's Spider-Man 2. Nice. I talked about it earlier in the beginning. Just a quick honorable mention because you want to experience it once you go through it. Yeah, it's Red Dead Redemption 2. There's a lot of fucking great moments in there, but the one that stuck out, but I can't talk about it because you haven't gotten there yet.
Wait, you never played it?
He has, but he wants to.
Yeah, I played it once. I'm replaying it through again.
Oh, okay.
He wants to experience it.
Just ruin it for him. We said spoilers in the beginning.
I know where this is gonna go, anyways. I'm still gonna enjoy the game.
Okay. Well, I guess I won't do an honorable mention. I'll just talk about it. It's called Arthur's Last Ride. That's what that moment's called. You know, the gang's already fucking like in shambles and shit, and Arthur's trying to be good, trying to do some good things before he dies or whatever, right? And that fucking song plays, and he's taking his last ride, going back to camp. And
That is so good.
and and like there's moments of him. If you do good, that's the thing. If you do bad or good, yeah, that's the cool thing about it. But if you do good, it reminds you of what the good things you did, right? You hear people say you're a good man, Arthur. You did this, and it's like fuck, man, and like fuck this. I know where this is leading, right? That again, just like we did with Metal Gear. That whole fucking after that whole section is fucking great.
You're like, oh shit, that's why he wasn't in the original. Red
Yeah.
Dead.
Like,
It's all making sense now.
like you escaping the camp, helping John escape, and like he's like you can fucking tell he was like his mentor to John, even though he kind of hated him in the beginning. He's like he calls him a fucking idiot, and yeah.
We should have left you there.
Yeah, and it's cool. He I think he gives him his hat.
Yep.
And he says, go.
Yep.
And dude, there's a callback. I don't know if you guys noticed, but there's a moment where Arthur tells him that there's more power in staying than like leaving, and stuff like that. And it's a callback to the first one. And the first one, early on when you're going riding with Bonnie, she's thinking about like leaving the ranch, and he quotes Arthur. He says there's more power in staying than
Oh shit.
going. And it's like, oh fuck, it all comes full circle. Like Arthur told him that shit. Yeah, no, that's a good moment too.
And when he tells Dutch, like, I gave you all I got. It's like, motherfucker.
Come on, dude.
And in the fucking
All
when
right,
he's
stop,
hold on.
stop, because I want to play it.
And when he's taking his last breath and the fucking sun sets. Like,
Yes.
motherfucker.
Yes.
That's what I said. It's one of the best westerns ever fucking made, dude.
So, question,
Uh-huh.
because I have this on my greatest moments as well, but
Really?
actually,
Okay.
both of them, and I want to actually talk about the ending to Red Dead 1, Red Dead Redemption 1, because so my question is who did it better? Whose go away was? I don't know, man. Well, here's the thing, okay? Like, so you play Red Dead, and you're helping the government take down these people. Why? Because they said you're a criminal. We're holding your family. We'll release them as long as you do us this favor. And what does the government do?
Mm-hmm.
You're next. You go back to your cabin, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you're pretty much fighting off the law. And and the thing is you love John, and you love this character. You love where he comes from.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously he's a shadow of Arthur.
Yeah.
And the dude gets gunned down.
Oh
And
my God, yeah.
And then there's a side mission. There's a son who's getting revenge, and the cycle continues, and I think they even hint it in the game is once you're a part of it, it never leaves you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I
don't know. I'm torn between both of them, dude. They're so fucking great.
Absolutely. And even the ending when you play John and with his family and you build the
oh my God.
cabin and it's like there's really no action, but like you see like the peaceful side and what he's building.
Josh, stop.
And then you go back to the original and you're like, that was taken away from him?
Mm-hmm. Hold on. Now you got me all hyped with this shit. Yeah. Fuck.
That's what I bring to the table. That's how Batman v Superman should have been. That's what I bring to the table when I do my research.
No, fuck. He just reminded me, dude. Dude, hold on, I'll get to it later. But when you get to John and you find out where they're hiding out, fucking Micah and Dutch. I even showed you that fucking scene, and to me, again, one of the best moments. And I'll say it again. Fuck, I forgot the Indian guy's name. And Charles and Sadie, they get shot, and you're the only one going up the hill, up the mountain.
I need you to stop because I want to get to that part.
And the song, and I know the name of the song. It's called American Venom. Okay, and the guys come up to you and they're like, "Ooh, you're on your own now." Yeah, you go da 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 da.
Shit.
Sorry. Okay. That whole I'll let you play, but that whole sequence too is fucking great.
I gotta throw in another. I'm sorry. The bar fight scene.
Dude.
When you go to the bar, you have some fun, turns into a brawl. You're so wasted, you're dancing, you have no idea what's going on. That scene is so freaking great.
Yes.
So great.
So it's just okay. I'm just gonna get to my. This is so weird. What I'm gonna say, but fuck it. After beating Red Dead, I was listening. Yeah, listening to the soundtrack. Soundtrack is great. I know it sounds stupid what I'm gonna say, but you already know where I'm going with it. I got sick over the holidays, and
It wasn't tuberculosis.
no, but I forgot what it's called. But I had
Bronchitis.
Yes.
Fucker, not TB.
But
We're not Arthur, okay?
I felt like Arthur in that moment, dude. I know. I felt what he was going through. Fucking out of breath. This moment you'll get to is it.
I got to that moment today.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's TV. What Edgar had.
No, it's so weird that I felt what he was going through, dude. That sucked.
Edgar,
That wasn't great. I couldn't breathe.
give me the fucking.
I played Red Dead. I wanted to be a good
Dude,
man.
you were not dying. You were fine. Jesus, dude. You did to.
Did you have COVID? Is that what?
No, yeah, he had bronchitis.
That's it.
That was it. It was. I'm sure it was awful, but it wasn't TB.
Did you cough blood?
No, you were fine. And then I fucking had it. All right, no, that's a different different type. All right. Yeah, no, there are a lot. Damn, man, Red Dead 2 is such a good fucking game. Such a good. I don't think Little Josh finished it, did he? No. Such a shame. Okay, let me. All right, let me tell you one of my other moments that I got over here. Let's move on.
Moving along.
Moving along. Bloodborne. Have you played Bloodborne, Josh?
I have not.
All right, let me blow your mind. So, up to this point, I've been playing Dark Souls games that are great, but Bloodborne. Oh, yeah, forget.
Keep going. Sorry,
So it's
man.
almost your bedtime. I'm sorry, Josh. We'll wrap this up soon.
My bad. If I have trouble sleeping tonight, Alberto, tell me a story. All right.
I think you're gonna have trouble sleeping because of the what happened earlier. But so Bloodborne was this like huge shift in from software. You've been playing these Final Fantasy, these like fantasy RPG games. Bloodborne comes along. It's like, okay, you're fighting these werewolves. You're a hunter. That's the main point of the game. You know, they let you loose in the city of Yharnam. You know, where all these beasts are being fucking strung up on crosses. They're being burned. The fucking citizens are also turning into beasts, but they don't know it. They think you're a fucking beast, so they try to kill you. Everything is kind of on the rails, even though it sounds like it's bonkers. But then there's a moment kind of halfway through the game where the crazy is revealed to you in Bloodborne. And you realize that the city of Yharnam has been fucking worshipping these elder gods from like the cosmos. And to make matters even worse, as you continue along the game, you consume these things called insight, which mechanically allows you to summon other players. But there's another effect to the insight, which it makes you go crazy in the game. And you don't notice it until you reach, I think, like 40 insight, and you see these fucking elder like beings that the people have been worshipping as gods. And they're just hanging around in the city of Yharnam. And what's crazy is that, like, was it not Odin Chapel? What was it called? The Grand Cathedral, the Cathedral Ward. You enter that area like, I want to say like 10 hours into the game, and you're like in this church that's kind of like a safe place, like a safe haven before you go out and you go fucking fight whatever, you know. And you consume like 40 insight, you walk out, there's this huge alien looking fucking creature, and you realize that thing has been there the entire fucking time, And I have not noticed until I've consumed enough of these fucking like insight.
How far are you into the game at this point?
At this point, you're like kind of midway through.
Okay.
And you start to explore other parts of the city, and you realize there's like these fucking humans that got turned into aliens. They got like these huge mushroom looking fucking heads, and you're just like, what the fuck's happening? You hear like this like wailing that never stops, and it's all because you've been consuming all this fucking like knowledge, and it's like, this is a fucking H.P. Lovecraft game, and this is amazing, but it's also terrifying because it starts off like at 5, you know, in terms of like terror, and then once you like reach the end, fucking, you're just like, what is happening? I'm fighting this huge ass spider that came from the fucking cosmos. I'm learning that these people have been consuming this fucking blood that allows them to communicate with these fucking beings. They're removing their eyes because they can't see them because they would go fucking crazy and shit. It's just like, From Software pulls this like 180 on you where you're just like, okay, I'm playing. It's fairly normal. Like, yeah, I'm fighting these like fucking monsters and they're kind of terrifying. But once the fucking crazy is revealed to you and you realize what the fuck's been going on, dude, you go insane too. Like, as a player, you're just like, what the fuck? Like, everything I've been doing, and it's all because there's these fucking like gods that I can't even comprehend. Like, it's just so fucking
So is
good.
it gods or is it aliens?
That's what's great, right? It's like these people from Yharnam, they call them gods, but when you like look at it logically, you're like,
Yeah.
they're fucking aliens.
So you have no idea of what that is. The definition of horror.
Yeah,
I love it.
it's fucking amazing, dude. You literally fight a thing. I forgot, it's called like the Unborn God or some shit like that, and it's just this huge planet-sized fucking like blob full of like human flesh that you fight. That's where you're just like, what the fuck is happening right now? Like, this is just fucking bonkers, dude. And it's just so. If you never played a From Software game, Josh, I recommend you play Bloodborne. It's tough. It's very challenging. It did come out in 2015, so your chances of finding people to help you kind of might be slim, you know, because you need people to help you to fight bosses and shit. But it is an experience unlike any other, dude. Because there's no cutscenes. The story's hidden from you. You have to seek it out. And when you do seek it out, just like the people from this city, you're just like, what the fuck am I reading? I'm going insane. Like, what the fuck? And you literally are going insane. Because certain enemies only show up after you consumed enough, like, of this one item. You know? And so, oh man, it's just...
So the way you described it was extremely well, and it's very interesting. But the fact that you emphasize that it sounds like a lot of work, a lot of stress.
It is a lot of work.
I don't even know if I want to play that fucking game.
Or at least...
As epic and as great as you make it sound, I'm just like, I can't play this game because it sounds like a lot of fucking work.
It is a lot of work, but I will say this. As an alternative, there's a YouTuber named Maximilian, dude. On YouTube, he does like a lore playthrough where he plays through the game and tells you the story. I would watch that, and you can still kind of get the same effect. Not really, but oh man, it is just
Solid.
it's so fucking good. And Eder can attest to it, right? I mean,
I want to just bring it up as, to me, the whole game for me, because you introduced me to the Soul-like games, and it was Bloodborne. And dude, that's like one of a fucking kind, like experience, like you said. It's so fucking great. I'm happy that that's the game you introduced me to, like the Soul-like.
and you introduced it to
Little Josh, and he got hooked on it.
that motherfucker would not stop asking you to play.
Yeah.
And it was just
We would do the we would play that shit all day. What I was gonna say? No. To me, I feel like that whole fucking game was like an experience. I don't know what to say. It's like I tell you every time, like if it's installed in the PlayStation, if I see it, I have to play it, and I can't drop it after I beat it. That's how fucking hooked and great it is. So
I mean, I do say that it is stressful It is confusing. The game doesn't tell you much of anything beyond the first like section where it teaches you how to play. But beyond that, like, you're on your own, dude. Like, this whole world is open to you. Do whatever you want, and like, you'll obviously find out where you're not supposed to go when you get your ass handed to you. But it's just, oh my god, dude, what a fucking game! Like, when you finally so you play Breath of the Wild, right? Like, when you open and the whole fucking Hyrule is like open to you, it's like oh shit, this is gonna be fucking amazing. Similar thing happens in Bloodborne where you open up the gates to Central Yarnum, and you're just like, what the fuck? Everything's quiet, but I'm hearing people like talking to themselves, whispers and shit like that, and then you hear this huge fucking like what do you call it? Like bloody. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of, yeah, and you're just like, what the fuck is that? I just heard it. It's somewhere, and you finally find out what it is. Is this huge fucking like werewolf that you have to fight? It's optional, by the way, which I didn't know when I first played it. You don't have to fucking fight it. You get the cool ass fucking like weapons. You know, you get the saw blade, you get the fucking hunter's axe. They all have different transformations. You get the gun. You have to really be good at parrying. It's so fucking good. Like, the closest thing to a masterpiece that I can think of in terms of like RPGs. You know,
Just real quick. Like, Josh said it in our top 5 favorite movies. We talked about The Raid, and he said when he has friends over, he wants to show them that, right? Like, have you seen The Raid? I'll put it on. I feel the same with Bloodborne. When I know another gamer is like, hey, are you fucking played Bloodborne? Get it right now. Play it. And yes, but you'll fucking
hours of your life.
yeah. And I feel the same way like that. It's like when people didn't play, it's like, dude, you don't know what the fuck you're missing.
It doesn't perform as well because it does run at 30 frames, so that could kind of turn some people off. I don't know, not me. But dude, it is. I go back and forth on what my favorite video game is. That could be my favorite video game of all time.
Of all time.
Number 1.
Number 1.
Number 1.
Wow.
I know that could be, no, it's not even a bold claim. Dude, so many people fucking agree that Bloodborne is one of the greatest video games of all time. Yeah, and there's a reason why people want it remastered. Or a sequel, or fucking remake, whatever. They just want another fucking Bloodborne, and it's because it's so fucking good, man. If you love H.P. Lovecraft, if you love horror in general, you gotta play it. And yeah, but that moment where the crazy gets revealed to you, nothing can top that. You know?
Wow.
Any closing, or not closing, but I know you probably got a few more left.
I got one left.
Got one left?
I got one left. I have to share this just because it like was so... I think you know what I'm going to talk about, maybe. But I got to talk about Breath of the Wild.
All right.
I got to talk about Breath of the Wild. And there's some funny history to it, you know. I got to obviously bring up my wife because she strongly hates video games.
Is it after Breath of the Wild, or?
Oh, no.
Before?
Period.
Okay,
Yeah, before.
okay.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, happy birthday to Josh. Here's a Nintendo Switch, dear. Here's Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
My wife gets it for me for my birthday. Plug it in. I do not let that game go from day one.
Man.
I probably played that game 30 days straight. Plateau, the start of the game, is so fucking good. It's so fucking good, and it's an introduction to the game.
I was gonna say,
teach you.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even feel like that.
Yep.
You know. So, and I remember that I was so. You guys are gonna fucking like shit on me and make fun of me. Everybody does. That plateau, I reset that scene so many times.
Were you like restarted?
Yeah, until I wanted to perfect that, until I was satisfied.
What does perfection mean when you restart? Like what?
Like not getting hit, getting each shrine perfectly, like just perfect. And I wanted a clear understanding of this game because that's how much I was so interested in it. And then the idea of once you leave the plateau and you have this open world and you can just go wherever the fuck
Once you get
want
the glider
to
and
go.
everything.
Yeah, you know, I can go to the fucking boss if I want to and end the game.
Yep.
You know, or I can just get every temple that I want first, every shrine. I mean, you know, and then I can do the story, and then I can get the memories,
So-
and then I'll decide to end it.
I question you.
Sure.
When you finally left the plateau, did it click with you, or you're like, the game just fucking started?
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
I just spent like X amount of hours, and the game just fucking
I
started.
probably spent 5 hours on the plateau before I actually left it.
Really?
Absolutely.
Okay, I don't want to sidetrack. There's a video game called Nier Automata, and in that game you spend 20 hours playing it, right? And then the fucking title screen comes on.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm not fucking with you. That game opens up without a title screen, and you're like, all right, whatever. Some games don't do that. You play through it, you finish it, and then it's like, all right, the game just started. And you're like, fuck
Shut
you!
the
I just
fuck up.
finished it.
That's like such a that's a fuck you.
That is a fuck, but it's also like, I just got started. I'm not even
20 hours later.
20 hours, no joke. Fucking 20 hours later, and then it says Nier Automata. The title screen, the credits are like rolling. And you're like, the game just fucking started. And that's how Breath of the Wild feels when you're like, because that's a
Yeah.
fucking tutorial. That's
Yeah.
a tutorial level.
Yep.
And you're just like, fuck off. The game just started right now. Like, I spent so many hours on this shit. And Tears of the Kingdom has something kind of similar to it, where it's like you're
You're in the sky.
skies.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And what I love about, and I invested so much time in this game to the point where my wife she was so mad at me, but
Yeah.
she couldn't be, right? Because she got the game. She's like, I did this to myself.
She regretted it, I'm sure.
She
right?
regretted it. She's like, did we keep the receipt? I'm returning that shit. I'm going to leave your ass.
Damn, man.
I never, that game hooked me. And just something about it, maybe it was the nostalgia of it, you know, but looking back at it, it set the bar in open world, in play style,
Agreed.
and where to go.
Agreed.
And, you know, I feel like Zelda has always prepared for this. You know, when you play Zelda 1, it's technically open world,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You can go anywhere you want. Obviously, you have to go to the specific, you know, at these points, right?
Yep.
You know, they did that for the longest time. Ocarina of Time comes out. It's somewhat different, right? It's third person. You know, it somewhat looks like it's open world, you know, but
Yeah.
in a very small aspect. You know, Skyward Sword gets a little bit bigger, you know.
And then
Then Breath of the Wild comes out. And
Yeah.
it is and the score is so beautiful, you know, and there are, you're always waiting for the Zelda theme in it, and it never gives it to you, and then it gives you little hints of it,
Oh my god.
and it's just so
Oh, I'm getting the shivers again, dude.
nostalgic because of it, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
I was gonna say, like, Breath of the Wild. This may be a bold claim, but playing Breath of the Wild was like playing video games again for the first time.
yes.
Like, it was an evolution of not only Zelda, but evolution of just the genre of
Yes.
gaming. Like, this is it, guys. This is the fucking next step of video games. And how do I
Absolutely.
know? Elden Ring, that came out 2 years ago, that's made by From Software, took it from Breath of the Wild.
Yeah. But yeah, I would even say that Red Dead 2 as well, right? So there's always been open world, but it was never like GTA, let's say, right?
Yeah.
It was never like perfected. You know, it was spotty. There's loading, little things here and there. But you go 20 minutes this way,
And you reach where you're going.
and
like,
you reach it.
whatever
there's
you
no
see
loading. Yeah,
in the
you will
distance,
go,
You'll go there.
right?
Yeah.
And then other games started doing that
Yeah.
as well, you
Yeah.
know. So, oh man, when you pulled the Master Sword too for the first time, you know, and you watch your hearts deplete,
Yep.
and
Yep.
you pull it out, you know, and every Zelda has that moment. every Zelda game. But just that feel of pulling it out as you're about to like potentially die.
Sorry,
and
just
as he
that.
holds it up.
Yeah. No, I have a dirty mind. You said that when you pull it out, that moment when you pull it out.
Yeah, and you kill your children. I'm about to get her pregnant.
It's a Breath of the Wild. Okay. Should this segue into our next topic, Josh, or do you have any other moments? Okay. All right.
No,
Well,
yeah, I'm down, but
yeah, let's before we do our the next topic, which is not going to be as long, don't worry about it.
maybe no guarantees.
Well, no guarantees. Let's take a little pause.
You okay with that? Edgar?
We gotta recover, man. We just talked about Breath of the Wild.
I gotta take a shit.
Go do it outside, Josh. And we have returned from our little intermission. We had to gather ourselves after talking about our favorite gaming moments. Josh went ahead and ended it with Breath of the Wild. I think that was a great part or great moment to end it off, because it also kind of transitions into our next topic. Because it can't all just be rainbows and sunshines, guys. We got to talk about what we think is what we feel is overrated games. Because they can't all be, well, I don't know. What would you say, Josh? These overrated games, they're not like bad, right? They're still games that are great.
Oh, absolutely. I think we're obviously going to contradict ourselves.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways. If you'd like, I'll go first, obviously.
Because this is going to be a big one right here.
I'm going to hugely contradict myself. I think
Yeah.
it'll transition well. But, overhype. I talk about how great something is. You need to play it. You play it, and you're just like, it was good, but it was not that great.
Yeah.
So overdone, overdid. I don't know. However you want to look at it.
Yeah, or just too much hype, and it just doesn't live up to the expectation when you play it, right?
Yeah, that is. Oof. Endings go a long ways, like movies. The video game, so great. You worked so hard to it, and that's the ending that I get.
God, man, yeah, there's so many come to mind with that one for sure. God, all right, I want to get into this one, Josh. I mean, what's the first one?
Well, obviously, I talked about Breath of the Wild, how great it was. How
it is
nostalgic it was.
It is great.
Zelda, in a nutshell, is overrated.
I love this because he just spent so much time talking about how Go ahead, because I agree. I kind of agree.
But just about almost every Zelda game is the fucking same.
Yep.
Zelda 1, right? Link to the Past. Link's Awakening. It's the same fucking thing.
Yeah, having to find Zelda in some way or form, and it's
yeah.
It always feels. Would you put Mario in that category too?
I would put Mario in that category,
it's
but
always the same shit.
Obviously, the name has something to do with it, right?
Yeah.
We always go back to it. Zelda, Mario, Sonic.
Yeah.
We'll throw that out there as well.
Uh-huh.
People will continue and always play these games just because of the brand, the history of it. But it is, man, as much as I love the nostalgia of Zelda, where it comes from, the storyline of this reincarnation, I guess, right?
Yeah.
It's just a fucking rehash.
Yeah.
It's the same fucking thing, man.
Such an overly complicated storyline too.
Yeah.
Right. There's so many you need to set aside some time to watch YouTube videos to understand the fucking lore of Zelda. Which, if some people are into it, they're into it. But I feel like this may be too much, but I feel like you go in for the gameplay, really.
You do, and I would say a lot of the times the gameplay is the same, and even the story is the same.
Yeah,
and it's like, okay, you're this kid, you get a wooden sword, you go fight some monsters.
Yep.
You go to a couple areas.
You increase your health.
You increase your health. You eventually get the Master Sword.
Yeah, you get the bombs. You get this. And I think that's what made Breath of the Wild so great, though. It was.
I can also argue that Breath of the Wild was overrated. Going back to how
mean-
great the build-up was,
Yeah.
how great the boss fights were,
Yep.
and then that was the ending. I'm fighting a fucking pig.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does kind of leave on a sour note a little bit.
It does.
You know, the whole weapon system where it breaks. Nothing really feels like there's any like emotionality tied to like the weapons. You just use branches, you use whatever. And it's just-
Unless you get the Master Sword.
yeah.
Nothing is really relevant. You know, but I think the biggest part of what makes the disappointing part of Breath of the Wild is really just that ending.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this buildup of Ganon.
I feel like honestly like Breath of the Wild is such a blank canvas. It really is up to you to make the game good. Otherwise, it's kind of just gonna be all right.
Yeah.
You know, that's why some people walk away with that experience being like, I don't see the hype. It was okay. But it's like you have to kind of really be I don't know. It really stems from how creative you are.
Yeah.
And how you solve these problems. Otherwise, what is there for Breath of the Wild? It kind of just it's okay.
Yeah.
You describe it to someone and it's going to sound like kind of a boring experience. You know?
It can be.
It can be, but unless you start talking about, like, oh, well, I did this.
Hey,
There's
don't.
a way that you're supposed to solve this puzzle. I did it this way. And
Hey,
there's
don't forget though. I walked 30 minutes that way to get where I needed to go.
Yeah.
It took forever.
God, dude. Yeah.
Didn't have my fucking horse.
And then I agree. Yeah, Zelda is... And Edgar hasn't even played any fucking Zelda game either. Not a single one.
Is there a reason why?
I don't see the appeal to it.
Because it's overrated as fuck or what?
I think so. I think that's where it comes from. No, which I don't disagree. Yeah, I feel like maybe that's where it's coming from. It's like, well, I don't have a distaste or anything, but I also don't care about it. Shit, now that I have the mic, shit, this might be another hot take too. I don't know. You might agree too. I don't care about Mortal Kombat anymore.
Yes. I was going to bring that up. Mortal Kombat is so
I feel yeah, it's overrated now. I'll get to I feel like they hit their peak in X. I felt that like they should continue with the new characters that they created. It felt fresh there. It felt new. 11 was okay. This new one was like, why the fuck did I believe the hype? It's to the point that it's only known for their fatalities now. Yeah. As where this year we got, or last year, sorry. Well, one last year, and this year was Street Fighter 6 was last year, was great. Fucking new take on everything, new controls for new beginners, all that shit. Tekken.
Same controls.
Right, same control.
Like, all that shit.
Dude, when I got to that moment where you were talking about in the story, when Jin gets his fucking mojo back, basically.
That's the whole fucking story of the game. Jin gets his mojo.
But when he does, it's like, this is fucking peak, you know. MK, I don't know.
I'm gonna actually throw one at you.
Okay.
I think all fighting games are overrated.
Get the fuck out. Get the fuck out, Josh. What do you mean all fighting games are overrated?
Besides the fighting aspect of it, like what do you really want out of it?
Oh, I don't know. It's a...
Daddy kills son. Son comes back. Son kills daddy.
Are you talking about
Daddy
from a story
kills son.
perspective, Josh? Is that what
Daddy, son has a son.
Are you talking about
son gets
mechanics?
raised by grandpa.
Or what's going
Grandpa
on?
kills
Let me
grandson.
break it down for you, Josh.
Holy shit.
Because fighting games can teach you a lot about self-discipline. It can teach you a lot about patience. Because
You know what you're actually speaking of right now?
What?
Taking martial arts as a human being.
Oh, I don't know. But
That actually teaches you discipline.
all right, but hold
patience.
on, hold on.
Fucking video
Hold on.
game does not do that. Shut the fuck up.
Fighting games can, if you do it, if you train and you fucking like learn characters, guess what? You win fucking prize cash prize money too, and you're not getting hurt.
I've never seen cash prize money, motherfucker.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't
maybe
see
'cause
your
you're
ass on
hiding in your little hidey
ESPN. What the
hole,
fuck are you talking
okay?
about over here?
I don't know. Go search up what's
You
his name?
great-
Fucking Daigo.
You
in that
great
moment
at
in Street Fighter
Tekken, you
first
great
time.
at Street Fighter, but you ain't in shape.
Hey,
I'm great at those games, and I'm
look
still a
at
lazy
you.
motherfucker. What
Look
are you
at
talking about?
Josh.
Self-discipline over
Fighting
here.
games are you can learn a lot of shit about fighting games more than you could any other fucking game.
Yeah, I will say thumb reflex, eye reflex. Oh man.
This is so disappointing, man. You don't like fighting games?
I love fighting games. I grew up playing Tekken. I love Tekken Tag. I love Street Fighter, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, Mortal Kombat is overrated, right? They're running out of ideas to where they have to restart again, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like what they did with Mortal Kombat 9.
Yeah, yeah.
He restarted.
Yeah.
But if we're gonna hate on Mortal Kombat, let's broaden it, man. All fighting
know,
games
dude.
are fucking overrated.
I don't know, man. There's a reason why there's such a strong community for fighting games.
I agree. There
Because
is.
people-
There's a strong. So you could say the
Dude,
same about first
Yeah,
person.
but okay, but no, hold on. Tell me, what has a much more deeper fucking mechanic than fighting games? Go ahead. What game teaches you these mechanics in such a fucking in-depth level?
Sifu. It's a fighting game against computers.
Okay,
And you actually have more reflex, more dodging.
Oh, come on, Josh. Really? You're playing as one singular character in Sifu. In Street Fighter or like Tekken, you got multiple styles, multiple characters, different personalities you can attach to. You're laughing. Like Joker, you're laughing. You're out here and you're laughing
I'm
because...
giggling at your logic over here.
I don't know, Josh.
Oh,
I feel like
Mortal Kombat's overrated, but Tekken's great.
Tekken is fucking great.
There's no way it can be
It's
overrated.
better than
all
Mortal Kombat.
overrated.
No.
It's all overrated.
I don't
You
think
played Dead or Alive
I don't think you
specifically for the
any
jiggling
good
boobs.
examples for why fighting games are overrated. The only explanation you provided was like, oh, the story and the guy throws the other guy off the cliff. You haven't really told me anything that made it overrated, Josh. Go ahead.
I just did the story. Anybody that tells you that they don't play for the story for Street Fighter, they're a fucking liar. Obviously, you play it for the blocks, the special moves, the combos.
That's the point I'm trying to make.
Which I get, right?
Yeah.
But you can do that that was a thing whether it was for PlayStation 1 to PlayStation 5.
Okay, and it's an in-depth game where these developers put so much time in making sure you can master these fucking characters. You're overcoming a challenge when you're like when you're playing a certain character, you're learning their moves. Oh god. All right.
Oh.
All right. What you agree also that
About it being overrated? All right. Truce, Josh. Truce. We're good?
For now.
All right.
For now.
Cold beans?
Your mom.
Okay. I hope when you walk out of here that you get terrified by another like drive-by. I hope that happens. Okay, I'm sorry. I take that
Wow.
back.
We got dark all of a
We did-
sudden
we
here.
did that dark. We gotta take a step back. I'm sorry. Okay.
Listen to your brother.
Nah, I can't be always shitting on Zack Snyder. I have to shit on him for about something else. All right, but no, Mortal Kombat is overrated. I mean, you brought it up. I think it's really just known for its fatalities, you know? And at this point, I feel like there's nothing really creative that they can come up with anymore in terms of, like, gas characters. They're banking on you buying it because you get to play as fucking Peacemaker and, like, Homelander and shit like that. Like, there's really nothing new about it except for when X came out. You know, you're right. That's where it hit its fucking peak. You know, and so many people keep talking about how, like, great it is. And I remember when, like, MK1, the beta came out, and then people were like, yeah, this is going to be fucking better than Tekken and better than Street Fighter and blah, blah, blah. Nothing.
The very first Mortal Kombat game?
No, one. The new
Oh, the recent one. Yep.
Yeah. Everyone was like, oh, yeah, this is going to be so much better than all these other fighting games. And it's like, dude, they're making you pay $10 for a fucking fatality.
But I feel like that's every like fighting game in a nutshell, right? Going back to when the very first Mortal Kombat game came out, they said that this was going to be better than Street Fighter. you know, and nobody knew what it was gonna. They were gonna say, "Oh, it's another fighting game." Blah 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 blah. Comes out, guess what? It was better than those games.
Mortal Kombat?
The very first Mortal Kombat game, simply because the blood,
Okay,
the finishing moves,
Yeah,
and things
yeah.
like that, right? And let's be honest, Tekken 1, the gameplay was not that great, at first. It really wasn't. And
Yeah.
to be honest with you, Tekken wasn't even that great until Tekken Tag came out. No one cared about 1.
Not Tekken 3?
Tekken 3.
Dude, Tekken 3 is regarded as one of the greatest games of all time.
The only thing that was great about Tekken 3 was Eddie.
I don't know, man. I feel like Tekken 3 is like what Street Fighter was like when Third Strike came out. Like, it reinvented the wheel. That, I think everyone, when they play Tekken 3, they were like, oh, this is like, from now on, this is what Tekken should be. And, you're shaking your head, but Tekken Tag is technically just Tekken 3. They're just letting you play as two characters at once.
Dude.
It's using the same, like, graphics and everything.
Tekken Tag put Tekken on the map. I grew up playing Tekken.
Tekken Tag put
Tekken, thank you. Who you? Give me one of these. Give me one of these.
It's only because he has no one over there, okay? Except for
I'm
his
taking
fucking
your
2
brother.
bottles of smart water.
Taking your brother from you.
No, yeah.
The combos got better
I think
in Tekken Tag.
I think he's right.
Get the fuck out of here, okay? This is no longer called the Two Brothers Podcast, right? This is called the Tekken Fan.
Guys
And haters, okay?
ladies and gentlemen out there, I've never seen Alberto so aggressive. He literally just took the mic out of Edgar's hand. Edgar's freaking out. I don't know what to do.
Because
Someone
dude,
call the guy that had the gun.
Because I think you're objectively wrong here. So many people will disagree. Tekken 3 is just so much better than
And so many
Tag.
people will agree with me.
Who? The fucking person right next to you? Oh, it's nobody.
First
Josh,
off,
come
your
on.
brother agrees with me, actually.
Come on,
He's
dude.
been shaking his head.
You got a fucking Street Fighter t-shirt on, man. No. If anything, you should be fucking praising Street Fighter, not Tekken.
I grew up playing Street Fighter. I grew up playing Tekken. Those were my first fighting games.
Me too.
I
Those were my
love-
first games when I played. Like, those are the ones that like.
Motherfucker, I was
fucking best.
born way before you.
Yeah, I know.
You were
you're-
like
I know you're old,
in
Josh.
your
Okay, I get
daddy's
it.
nut,
All right,
swimming.
you're out here. You're fucking old Bruce Wayne and shit. I don't fucking whatever. Okay.
Martha. I'm telling you,
You really think Tekken Tag is better?
Tekken Tag. I will if I were to ever pick up a fighting game right off the bat, it always has to go Tekken Tag. Absolutely.
Damn.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, man. I, agree
I
to
have
disagree.
so many memories to that game.
So maybe that's what it is. It's just the memories that you have with it. I think Tekken 2 is just
it was
objectively
so
better.
smooth. The combos. Jin's mother, when she was brought into that game, she had one of the best combos ever. And it was so fucking smooth.
Mhm.
So fucking smooth. Not just her. They even made Jin a better fighter in that. And he was fun to play with in Tekken 3.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you, if you talk to anybody about Tekken 3, the majority of the people will be like, oh yeah, Eddie Guerrero.
Eddie Guerrero. It's a wrestler.
Not the wrestler. Eddie. what
Eddie
is it?
Goro.
Eddie Goro.
That's-
My apologies.
I can see you can.
Past my
yeah,
bedtime.
yeah, I understand.
My brain's a little mush.
Yeah.
No, that all the white friends that would go to the arcade, they would play for Eddie.
All right. Tekken 8's really good too, though. Have you played Tekken 8?
I have not. Well,
It's fine. Agree to disagree, Josh.
But I will tell you that I did make the bad decision, picked up more MK1, and
We
regretted
did
it.
too. We did too. Don't worry, Josh. We did.
I played like an hour of it, and I was like, "Why the fuck did I
Dude,
spend $60 on this?"
You think you feel bad? We spent $109. We got the fucking premium edition. So who's the real fucking loser here? We are. Okay.
Look, I'll just give it this.
Yeah, but the idea before you speak, I'm sorry, but the idea of MK1, you were intrigued.
No, yeah. Look,
Right?
okay, look. At first, when they introduced the I was fuck that. No. I'll get there too. The one they sold me with the story. I was okay. That's cool. They're brothers now. Scorpion and Zone Zero and all this shit. I was okay. I'll go for the story, right? Which I enjoyed.
Going back to my point about stories, we play for the stories.
But I told you too. Is like, how the fuck they fucked up Cameo, as they perfected in fucking Tekken Tag, which I don't still get. Like to this day, it's fucking broken. It's broken. You can't find a fucking right cameo character with your favorite like your own favorite character. And right now, like I feel like it fell off. No one's playing that shit. Because it's I feel people felt the same way. Like I felt for the hype.
No, yeah, you're right, and it sucks because like you got all these guest characters that are supposed to be coming out. No one gives a fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Nobody gives a fuck.
Well, you can also say the same thing about Street Fighter and the new one that just came out with the My Player. Create yourself, and you go through the training and trying to get better and stuff
World
like
Tour
that.
thing?
Yeah. Was it that great?
I mean,
They tried to be different.
In its defense, I feel like it was created as a way to like make people engaged in like learning the mechanics, like the casual players who probably have never. They just want to play Street Fighter, but they kind of want to be good at online. So like, here's this mode, so you can like learn that shit, and it's just sort of like, it's just there, you know. So, and I don't know. I kind of agree with you.
They were doing it to like grab more of the crowd.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, NBA 2K does it. Let's do it in Street Fighter. Nah. Also, where is it going? Where is it going? At least, I will tell you, at least Mortal Kombat's story is pretty consistent.
Fuck no, it's not, dude. What are you talking about?
Even though it's all over the place, out of everything, dude. Again, how many times is Tekken gonna throw somebody off of a fucking cliff? How many times?
How many times is Mortal Kombat gonna keep rebooting itself, though, man? Like,
when is Ryu going to be evil? They keep hinting at it. Will he become Akuma?
yeah, but the thing with Mortal Kombat is that it's.
Oh, did you know that Ken is also homeless now? Crazy.
He's like, that was cool. No, I was gonna say
I
like
you have a soft spot. I feel you.
but like with Mortal Kombat, it's like you brought up the whole. I just lost my train of thought. Oh shit! Fuck! I was gonna bring up something about the story of Mortal Kombat. Yeah, the new one. Oh, how Liu Kang just decides that we're gonna like reset the timeline, but let me just also keep Shang Tsung in here still, and he's still gonna be a bad guy. It's like, why the fuck? You basically have the powers of a god. You get to remake the world in your own image.
I think the argument when I was playing it was that he still had to use the pieces that were still there, so he couldn't eliminate Shang Tsung. He had to still use them, but he changed them and took his powers away.
He eliminated Chronica though.
I don't know. I'm not trying to justify the story.
So
I still think it's crazy as well. But you also have to give respect to Mortal Kombat, right? And I'm not trying to justify it. Got it. I agree with you. All fighting games are overrated. But Mortal Kombat almost went bankrupt. Yeah. It was a dying fucking game. And then Mortal Kombat 9 comes out and they reboot it, right? And let's be honest. And I'm going to talk about this later. Everyone is fucking remaking everything so that little pawns can go in and spend their $60 and replay it again with special graphics.
Look who's talking. Didn't you
saying.
also buy remakes? Like
I'm
Final
just saying.
Fantasy 7 remake?
I'm just saying.
I don't know, man. I feel like what hurts about Mortal Kombat is that they take a step in the right direction with X and then they completely like walk away from it and go back to what people supposedly enjoy. Which is like, oh, we'll bring back the 3D fighters. Like anyone gives a fuck about the 3D fighters. That was the worst era of Mortal Kombat. Was the 3D fighters?
I don't disagree with that.
So
no, I'm not
like,
justifying. My point is not to justify that Mortal Kombat is not an overrated game. I'm just saying that if you're going, if you're going to say that, I think we have to throw in every fighting game that is out there.
All right, when does this become about fighting games? Right. We should. Okay, this is a great debate. I enjoyed sparring with Josh.
Just remember, I won and I had Edgar on my side. Move on.
You could
move on. What's the next? Go next.
The next one, I did bring it up on my greatest gaming moments. The Last of Us.
You motherfucker, let's go.
I love how we are like totally contradicting. These movies are so great. Oh, they're overrated.
Like no, I mean as much as I do love The Last of Us, Naughty Dog just can't stop making fucking Last of Us games. Now they want to like remake. No, they did. They fucking technically made a remaster of 2. And it's like that shit just came out.
They remastered the first one like 3 times.
Yeah, it's like, dude, when is it gonna fucking stop? Like, is this all you know now? Is just The Last of Us? Like, you don't.
Speaking of remakes, didn't we just talk about this a little bit ago?
Exactly.
But anyways, keep going and fill my ego and tell me I'm right.
Well, I feel like The Last of Us Part 1 remake is an example of a bad use of the word remake, because it's not really a remake. But I mainly feel like The Last of Us 2 is overrated. I think I've spoken about how much I dislike that game on this podcast before. I think the story is fucking just. It thinks that it's like this higher, like, oh, fucking avant-garde art, fucking like artsy thing, and here we're gonna tell you a tale of revenge and how the cycle fucking continues. Like, dude, Red Dead does this fucking better. There's movies that does this concept better than what you're trying to fucking like shove down my throat, you know. And it's like people were like, oh, it's being so brave. It's being so brave by letting you not fucking make your own choices. You have to play as Ellie. You have to kill these people. And it's like, get out of here, dude. Like, this isn't brave. This is being fucking like cowardice, dude. Like, you're not committing the whole way. You know what I mean? It's just and the fact that people continue to defend Last of Us 2 and they say shit like, well, you just didn't get it. You just didn't understand the story. It just went over your head. Like, no, I got it. I understood it, and it's still not great. Like, it feels like it's trying to justify its own existence. It's like, you kind of shoot yourself in the foot with the first one, and you want to make a second one. Like, come on, dude. Like, just... It's the same thing with Uncharted 4. Totally fucking unnecessary. I don't think they should have made 4. I think it should have stopped at 3 and decided we have more story to tell. It's like, no, you don't. You just want more fucking money. You know, and you just feel like Uncharted 4 is the way to go.
And that's like going back to the movie industry is they're just reaching. They're just trying to just bring people in, get that money, you know, and it gets to the point where it's just what is a perfect series, we'll say, eventually is no longer perfect because it was tainted by this forced unnecessary sequel. Yeah. You know, and video games they're getting so high production, they're becoming like movies. You know, we talked about how great Red Dead Redemption was. Yeah. You know, we love it. It's a perfect series. Can you imagine if they ended it somehow that was like perfect, and then they decided to bring out like another sequel and killed the series? I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. Okay. I want you guys to think about that, but go ahead.
Fuck, I forgot when we were talking about Red Dead. Jesus Christ. Oh, yeah. And oh my God. Did we all agree that when we saw the trailer and we were like, we're not playing John Marston? Like, well, I don't want to play Arthur. And that was like, he's fucking considered like one of the fucking best. Like
that's true, actually. that is actually true. I remember like seeing the picture of Arthur, and you're like, is that him? Is that John? Right? Or is that somebody else? You know, because yes.
Yeah. I don't want to play him.
Yeah.
But fuck. Yes. Okay. That was the moment I want to say. But okay, with Red Dead again. See, the thing about like, Red Dead did is, you have to have a fucking perfect fucking team behind you, and like, I just noticed, and he told me like the writer of Rockstar, I forgot what other games he did. He did Red Dead 2, and left. Like, why the fuck did you leave this guy go? Look what he fucking did, and you guys are just letting him like leave and all that shit. What were you gonna say? Oh, okay, go ahead. I'm going to go back to Last of Us. So go ahead.
No, just quickly, that's why I feel like Grand Theft Auto 6 is like, a lot of people are excited for it. I'm a little concerned about it.
Which one?
Grand Theft Auto 6. Because it doesn't have the same creative team behind it. And it's like, that's kind of a red flag, guys. Like, the guy who did Red Dead 2 also is responsible for 5. Responsible for Grand Theft Auto 4. Really? He's responsible for Max Payne 3. Like... He knows what the fuck he's doing.
I didn't know all that.
You know, so it's like, I don't know. Grand Theft Auto 6, people were like, and I'm sure it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be good, but I'm a little concerned about it too. So, but anyways, go ahead.
Shit, I didn't know he did all that. No, like you're right about Last of Us. I feel like it shot itself on its foot. It should have never been done. It ended perfectly with the first one. And if they wanted to do a sequel, they should have done it with like new characters. Or I feel like the story he created was so fucking lazy that he had to pull something from the first one to make it more. I don't want to say relatable, but like to make sense. And you killed one of the best characters too in the fucking franchise for no reason.
Like, so
In the start of the game.
So you know about the controversy with 2 and everything. Now it's like the doctor that you killed in the first one is like related to someone. Like, dude, fuck you, man. This fucking character that no one gives a fuck about all of a sudden is now important. Like,
Sounds like lazy writing to me.
It's fucking so late because like they try to frame it in the second one like, oh, he's a fucking good guy, and it's like the hospital wasn't dirty. It looked nice and everything looked clean. Like, dude, stop.
Everything was clean.
Yeah, because in the original, you walk in and it's just this doctor that's like operating on Ellie, and it's like, going to and shit, and he's like, stop, don't do anything. And I was like, get the fuck out of here. And then in the second one, you're just like, I'm supposed to care for this guy now? Like, dude, I don't know, dude. And then the fact that like Neil Druckmann, the director, is like, I have an idea for the third one. I was like, no, just stop. Just stop. You already kind of fucking tainted it with the second one. The ending was so fucking just so depressing. Like, nothing was gained from it. It was just so fucking sad. Like, do you know about the ending of 2?
No.
Yeah, you don't need to know. it's just so sad. Like, no, it's so depressing.
Say, I want to keep this conversation going about.
Let's
I was gonna actually share this for the end, but I'm gonna throw it in right away since we're on the topic of remakes. Okay. All right.
All right.
All remakes that have come out in the last decade, 5 years, I don't know, whatever, 5 to 10 years, overrated as fuck. Resident Evil, Dead Space, Final Fantasy VII. Over fucking rated. They remade it. It's overrated. It is solely a cash grab, right? Last of Us. Why do they keep remaking it? Cash grab. Resident Evil. And yes, I'm contradicting myself. I'm a hypocrite. Yes, I played them. Yes, I've enjoyed them. But let's just be honest, gentlemen. Okay? Resident Evil was dying. It was done. And what did they decide to do? We'll just remake it and we'll retell the story, but we'll make it better for you guys. Final Fantasy VII. They have been talking about doing a remake and overhyping it for the longest fucking time. You're going to give me 3 fucking games?
Yeah.
Also, the hype is over. Final Fantasy VII.
I mean, so you're saying that it's because it's like a cash grab. The remakes?
It's absolutely, and don't get me wrong. Like obviously, going back and you enjoy, you enjoy the graphics and the updates and things like that. Absolutely, but there's a lot of things that just should not be touched. I feel like.
So I feel like that's why it, like, the remakes serve the purpose of like we're getting back the fans through this like remake, and but we're getting like
Final
it's a cash grab.
Resident Evil is a perfect example of it. As much as I love the so pretty much what you're telling me is, we'll go back to Resident Evil 5. I don't want to remake a Resident Evil 5 unless you tell me a fucking different story. Let's be honest. Unless you're actually going to reboot and change up Resident Evil 5. There ain't no way of making that game better. Do you think that there's a way to make that game better?
Resident Evil 5?
Yeah.
Not an effort. Yeah, I think so.
Bullshit.
I think so.
Bullshit.
I
Do you
they can
think?
fix-
Do you
I
think
they
that
can
there's
fix
a?
the pacing
Do you
of it,
think
yeah.
that there's going to be a way of redeeming Dead Space 3? Because they are going to do a remake.
You didn't mention it. If they do tell a different story, yeah. If they deviate and they do something different,
Then it's not technically a remake.
a reimagining, you would say.
It's a reboot. But Dead Space 1 is not a reboot. It's a remake.
Mhm. Well, I see. Look, okay, with Dead Space, I agree. Right, I'll give you that. But with Final Fantasy VII, like remake, I think the purpose of it was for the developers to go back and to be like, there were certain things in the original that we just couldn't do at the time that we want to do in the remake and perfect it. Secondly, I feel like for as much as the original is great, who the fuck is going to play it in this new generation of like gamers? The remake of 7 serves its purpose of like introducing new players into the world.
The Nintendo Switch has actually released a handful of new games that are pixelated, RPG style.
Yeah, they are, but they have modern controls. Celeste, Shovel Knight. These games are retro in how they look visually, but mechanically, they are updated.
I would say it's more of a button smasher.
I don't know. I mean, have you played Shovel Knight? Have you played Celeste?
I've not.
Okay, so
but
you can't really speak on it then.
yeah, but I would assume that it's no different than the current Final Fantasy VII, is what you're alluding to, right?
No, because Final
No?
Fantasy VII, I don't know, like, I didn't fucking play the original. So I would never have known about this great story had I not played the remake. The remake gives me that story, provides more context to that story.
They do.
too.
They change it up a little bit,
Yeah.
and sometimes it's executed poorly because they try to change it up. So, for example, okay, here's the thing about Final Fantasy VII. You don't even know about Sephiroth or who he is until halfway through the game. Okay, you hear whispers of him, what he's capable of, what he's done. He's obviously has been dead, you know, and then finally you hear about him and you're like, holy shit, this guy's fucking powerful as fuck and he's a nut job on top of it.
But you think it was poorly executed in the remake?
In the remake it was, right? Because early in the game, they show that he is still alive. You know, and there's something going on with Cloud right off the bat. You prematurely showed something that was supposed to be pretty much a surprise midway into the game. At the start of the game, pretty much.
I'm gonna throw this back at you, Josh. I feel like you're taking the position of me when we were arguing about Zack Snyder. And
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
I will. I know it's past your bedtime, but stay with me, Josh. Stay with me, okay? You're all about the artistic vision of like the director, like Zack Snyder, and letting him fulfill his vision. Well, what if the remake is the original vision that these developers had? You as a fan may be saying, oh, I think it was poorly executed. I don't think it should have been done. But the developers are like, well, this is the way we intended it to. In a lot of ways, it's like our director's cut.
I like how you were like Googling it all of a sudden, researching.
Oh, no, I'm not Googling
Shut the
anything,
fuck
Josh,
up,
right?
doing your research
I ain't
as
doing
I'm
no
talking to
research.
you.
It's off the dome right now, Josh, okay? That's what I'm trying to say, is that like these remakes like 7, 2,
What's
Resident Evil 2
the
remake,
perfect movie of all time for you? Tell me.
the perfect movie?
Yeah, perfect movie.
Shawshank Redemption.
I believe that was Maurice's favorite movie.
I'll give you one. Shaun of the Dead, I think, is a perfect movie.
Okay, you like Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah.
You think it should be untouched.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a director. I come out. I'm a huge fan of Shaun of the Dead. I know that there's still a strong fan base of it. Guess what I'm doing? I'm going to reboot that son of a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel?
Hey, if
Shut the fuck up.
No,
there are
hold
certain
on.
things
Hold on, Josh,
that
hold
should
on.
be untouched.
That's coming from a fan's perspective, though. If there are certain mechanics, certain things
God,
in the
this
game,
does sound like a Batman v Superman
It is.
conversation in
yeah,
reverse.
This is reverse now, I think. I'm taking it as it is. I'm just saying, I feel like, look, even the developers of Resident Evil 4, not the original director, he moved on and did his own company, but the guys who did Resident Evil 4 are the same people who did 2 Remake. They played the original and they were like, "There's some things here that can be improved," and they did. And what did
In which ones? In which one?
4 remake? I'm talking
Sure,
about.
sure.
The developers who did 4 remake played the original and were like, "There's certain things here that can be improved for sure," and they did. They improved the parry, not improved. Sorry, they added a parry system so that you can parry the fucking knives and enemies and shit like that. And how did the fan base take it? Were they upset?
Oh,
No. They were
they
like,
liked it. They loved it.
this is
Absolutely.
fucking awesome.
Hey,
This is
how
fucking
great
amazing.
was Resident Evil 3,
Resident Evil 3 remake,
the original?
the original. It's all right.
It was good. It was good. Don't
Really?
even shit on it. It
Really?
was good. Yes.
Are you sure?
1, 2, 3, and 4. Thank you. God.
The original, yeah. The remake.
Can I get a?
Why are you taking his side?
Shut the fuck up, Alberto. Everybody loved Resident Evil 3. Okay, the stress of it, what it brought to the table, it was so fucking different, right?
Yeah.
And then they give you a remake. Let's just be honest, it should have been a fucking DLC.
Yeah.
And we all paid
The
$69.99.
hold on. The difference between that is it was just rushed, Josh. These other remakes, they took their fucking time. Okay, the third remake was clearly a response of 2. Everyone enjoyed 2.
Show me your source.
Let's fucking
Show
let's
me
shove
where
3
it was
remake.
rushed. Show me your source.
Of Resident Evil 3 remake, and how it was rushed,
Do it. You got it.
dude.
Go, do your research.
Okay, I'll give you my research. Hold on, give me a second.
Grab your phone. Don't use your
I don't
fucking
need no
dome.
phone. The developers who did 3 remake clearly rushed it because they were the ones who were in charge of 4 remake, who also wanted to get that out the door. And when Capcom saw what they were doing, and they were like, "Guys, 4 remake is not looking good," especially the backlash of 3 remake. You guys are trying to rush it out the door. You're trying to make it more action oriented. This isn't what we wanted. Let's go ahead and we bring the original team who did 2 remake to do 4, and they took their time.
I loved 2. Don't get me wrong. I'm contradicting myself. I loved Resident Evil 2. Yeah, remake. Absolutely. I loved it. Played it. Both sides. Okay? I did.
So
Right?
argument
I
over.
played
Then
Nemesis.
you
I
bought
did.
into it.
I did.
You played it.
Absolutely. Right?
Okay, all right.
But then I also asked myself, why? Why?
God, you're fucking.
Why? I can't wait until Resident Evil 5 comes out. I can't wait until Dead Space 3 comes out. Oh, they're going to make it so much better. Get the fuck off your phone.
Look, all I'm saying is that certain remakes are necessary to introduce new players into these games.
Remakes can be overrated, my friend.
Be overrated. That doesn't mean it still can't coexist with the originals.
Last of Us, Mortal Kombat
All
1.
right, Josh. I mean, come on. Mortal Kombat 1 is not a fucking remake. That's a
reboot. Remake.
But we're talking
Whatever you
about
wanna
2
call
different
it.
things. There's reboots
Still
and
a
there's
remake.
remakes, Josh. There's
Still a
reboots and
remake.
remakes. Nope.
They
Okay,
did it in
Last
Mortal
of Us Part
Kombat
1.
9. They did it in Mortal Kombat 1.
Last of Us Part 1 remake was clearly a fucking crash grab for the fucking
When
show.
Dad
okay?
throws son off the mountain, it's a remake, reboot, whatever you want to call it.
I don't know. I feel like you're just at a point in your age, Josh, where you're just cynical about everything. Okay?
You'll be
I
right
just feel
there,
like-
sir. You'll be right there, guys.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. You're already getting there. Go sit next to fucking Josh.
Guys been agreeing me for the past hour, man.
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, you fuckers talk too much. Shit. I'm gonna fucking losing my thoughts here when you guys continue. I agree, like with you guys had a point, like if someone was touching Shaun of the Dead. Fuck. See, I already lost my fucking train of thought.
Certain things shouldn't be touched.
Yeah, certain things, yes. But like lately, yeah, I do enjoy these remakes. There's nothing wrong with them. Like yeah, some do hit the mark. Kind of like with Resident Evil 3. What's another one that has a? It's a reboot, right? MK1.
Reboot, remake, it's all the same thing.
But
Just take the make out and put it in a boot.
what would it take for you to try one of these games to see our point of view, or like I don't know. Where we're coming from, Josh?
Dang. Edgar asked a damn good question. This is not fucking seriously. Man, I I'll still play it. I will. Just because I'm a fan, right? Like going back to the Shaun of the Dead, right? Love it. I respect it. It shouldn't be touched. If they remade it, I'm gonna still have to probably see it. Back to the Future. Love it. I don't think it'll be touched, but if they do, probably gonna fucking see it. I'm playing Final Fantasy VII right now.
Remake?
Yeah.
So why? Okay.
No, I am. I am. And as I'm playing through it, I'm like, oh man, why do they do that?
Mm-hmm.
I gave the example about the execution of
Mm-hmm.
Sephiroth and too prematurely, and then
Okay.
like why? Like the buildup of Sephiroth in the original was just so fucking good,
Okay.
right? And you fell in love with Cloud. Do you guys know the story of Final Fantasy VII? Can I? Okay, so you love Cloud, and he's this badass soldier, right? He's so great, and he worked hand in hand with Sephiroth, to find out literally hours and hours into the game that it was all a lie. It was all a fucking lie, they're already alluding this. They're changing it in Final Fantasy, the remake, like Sephiroth should be surprised. There's no they're showing Cloud being crazy in certain scenes, and Sephiroth shows up and stuff like that already, and you're like, why so early? Why change that? Why can't they be the build-up or anything like that? If anything, if you're gonna release a trilogy, right? Let's say of the game, they should have probably had whispers of Sephiroth, and they probably should have brought him in the second disc. Just my opinion, the second part. But what I'm getting at really is, and I'm going on a tangent, I apologize, is anytime you love and respect a game, when you play it, a remake, there is a 50-50 chance that you are, a huge chance that you are most likely going to be disappointed in some way. Resident Evil 4. I'm sure that you guys played it after playing 3 and being let down. There was the risk of being disappointed. And when you are disappointed, it fucking sucks.
Yeah.
But Resident Evil 4, it didn't let down. Resident Evil 2 didn't let down. Resident Evil 3, it did.
Right.
But then my thought process is how are you going to do 5?
I mean, going back to like Final Fantasy VII remake.
Did I answer your question, by the way?
Yeah, I was gonna ask something real quick. You have Dead Space remake, right? Or
Yes.
No? Yeah.
Still wrapped.
Still wrapped. I think deep down, I think you'll enjoy that one as a remake or whatever you want to call it. I think you might enjoy that one out of all these other ones that we talked about, as Resident Evil 4, Final Fantasy remake, and all those. I think that one might change your mind on how these remakes are.
Why do you say that?
Good question. You got me there too. I don't know. You guys, to combat that.
I will actually, and maybe because, I like how you guys, Resident Evil 4 is probably the greatest game of all time for you guys, right?
The original, yes.
Yeah, the original, and then you guys were like, "Oh my God, 4 remake was even just as great," right?
Yes.
Well, yeah, I would say even just as great. But like I said, I feel like they both exist together. Like I think original is you can still play it and still enjoy it, but you can also recognize that remake is just like, damn, it just does things better.
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
So with Dead Space, I don't think I've ever told you guys this, but I actually preferred Dead Space over Resident Evil.
I can see that.
Even
can
though I
agree with
grew
that
up
too.
playing Resident Evil and stuff like that, I think Dead Space, I hold it more close to my heart. There's something about it that I love. So maybe I think, because I heard it did great.
Oh
you know. So
The remake of Dead Space.
yeah, but then like also the original creator isn't even a part of it too. Really?
Yeah, because the original creator of Dead Space went on to make his like version of Dead Space, like reboot, reimagining, and it was
Yeah,
like,
I heard it was bad.
bad.
Yeah.
Man. It was bad, and not to mention he wasn't a part of 2. He didn't direct 2. He left.
No
as soon,
shit.
he left as soon as Dead Space 1 was done, and he
Interesting.
went and worked with Sledgehammer with Call of Duty.
Interesting.
So even the second one, which a lot of people argue is better than the first one, didn't have the original creator.
Yeah.
in it, you know, or Resident Evil 2 didn't have Shinji Mikami. It was Hideki Kamiya, I think. A lot of people say 2 is arguably better than 1.
I agree with that. Actually,
know?
I did.
So-
Shit. I don't even know why I didn't bring it up. I forgot. Dead Space 2 opening scene when you're in the
That's a
straitjacket.
good one too. But would you put like? You say like remakes, reboots, are all the same and shit like that? Do you say like even like reimagining too?
It can be. It's man. It's just. It is just the. I guess for me, okay. And what ruins it is the possibility of being disappointed, and then knowing that it is solely a cash grab is a turnoff.
But okay, but I just want to point this out too. You love Dune Part 2, right? But you never read the books. There's people who read the books.
Yeah, but we're not comparing
Or-
apples to apples. We're comparing different
Well,
different
hold on.
art.
Well, you brought up movies like Shaun of the Dead. Dune Part 2, you would say
I was
you
saying
enjoyed it
a
because you
movie
didn't...
remaking a movie, not a book into a movie.
Okay.
Not apples to apples.
All right, Josh. All right. All right.
Guys, I just love shutting up Alberto. But
No, I forgot. Dude, I can't believe you didn't add Doom Eternal, that moment when I think it was the DLC. It's kind of like the Avengers. Oh, fuck, that was a good. Sorry, it just that
wait, what?
Oh no, it was Doom Eternal. I don't know if you played Doom Eternal. There's a moment in the DLC where the Doomslayer, and at this point it's fucking over the top, but
Yeah.
like you're fighting a dark version of yourself, and it's literally just like the scene of Infinity War where all the fucking heroes come together. Or no, sorry, is it Infinity War? No, Endgame. All the heroes come out of like portals and shit like
Shit.
that. Like the same thing happens in Eternal. It's like such a fucking awesome, and it was done in game too. It wasn't a cutscene; like it was done with in-game footage. So it was really nice.
Someone that I'm not big at with like those first-person shooters. But when I saw this, that's fucking dope.
Doom is a perfect example. It's a fucking reboot.
They rebooted that game several times, and it's so fucking annoying.
Well, they only
dude.
did it once, really, and it was with 3.
No,
64
they did
was,
the 64, and then they did the Xbox, and
yeah.
didn't they do it again?
Well, it was 64 and 3, but
Yeah, and then they're gonna reboot it into a movie with John Cena.
The fuck? What planet are you on? No one's talked about that shit, dude. Go to sleep. John.
Hey, you were talking about Dune the book. Why can't I bring up Dune the movie or Doom the movie? Go ahead. Go ahead.
John Cena, what the fuck? He actually would make a good Doomslayer.
There is talks about him being in the movie. Yeah,
I don't
playing
know,
him.
dude. I feel like I don't know. I don't think that's
Dun,
true.
dun, dun, dun.
What I was gonna say is that like Doom is a perfect example of a game that got rebooted in 2016, and it kept everything that people loved about it, but it also kind of reinvented it too. You know, like the story was no one gave a fuck about the story in the original.
Always play
You
it
know?
for the story. No, I'm just kidding.
But in 2016, like they also are like, we know why you're here. We know you want to kill demons, but we're also gonna give you some sick ass fucking lore for you to like read, and it like makes all the games fucking canon, and it like makes 3 canon, 64 canon. Like it's the same fucking Doom Marine. Like it's well except for 3, but it's like without that, I don't think a lot of people would have give a shit about Doom, because it was also gonna go down the route of like Call of Duty and shit. Like it was gonna be like a militaristic like fucking shooter and everything like that, and then it was like, no, we're gonna go back to what people loved. Yeah, it's fucking good.
Were you a fan of Doom the movie?
With Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson?
Yep.
No.
Sure.
The first person scene?
God, that was so fucking bad. How do we make it like the game?
It was like the only thing that kept my attention though. Was like, oh, this is. It's all right, I guess. You know. No, it doesn't hold up. I'm not saying it's not good, but it definitely doesn't hold up. Okay, we got off topic.
Fucking remakes.
God, I don't know, man. Yeah, look here. Let me make an art. So, I would say Dead Space remake. Out of all the remakes we discussed, is an example of a good remake. I know I said that a lot, but I would argue Dead Space is definitely like up there. It is a 1-1. Everything is unchanged, especially like the pacing of the story. In fact, I would say it does add in a way that doesn't take away from the original's like moments that you enjoyed. Isaac Clarke talks, but he doesn't talk a lot. He talks in moments that make sense, where like in the original he was like mute. And of course it was because, you know, you're Isaac and shit like that. But this one doesn't make sense. Like I would say, yeah, I think the Dead Space remake, I think that would convince you to be like, yeah, this was worth making. Like this was worth recreating.
Yeah, and again, Resident Evil 2. I loved it.
Yeah.
Worth remaking, right? But again, it's just it's such a fucking cash grab. But then, devil's advocate of it is technology gets so much better. Can you imagine when like video games gets to the point where you go into the actual video game and you are the person?
Yeah.
Fuck, man. They made that Dead Space. I'd fucking play that when I'm like 85.
Fuck, dude. Terrifying. You get a heart attack when you play that shit.
Right.
Look, I'm gonna respect Josh. I think you did take this one.
Hey, let me ask you something though. Why do you think they are at a point where they are making remakes?
Yeah, I think it's because they're out of ideas. But I feel like Capcom balances it well because they are doing like 7 Village. You know, they
got lucky, in my opinion, with 7. They
well,
advertised it really
they
well.
Got lucky, yeah.
You know, they were all going downhill,
Mm-hmm.
and they knew that they had to do something different and change it up. You know, but then it's like, you know, how long ago did 7 go? And they're gonna fucking remake that too. It's so fucking good.
I agree with Josh's point. They got lucky. The reason why is because PT didn't come out. If that game came out, I think Resident Evil would have been stuck still or done. Because if Silent Hills never came out, it wouldn't been where it's at now.
And you're seeing a similar thing with Silent Hill 2 remake. They're doing it because Silent Hill is a dead franchise.
Yeah.
And it's like we gotta bring it back.
And
you know?
let's revisit your comment, man. We're in an age where people are fucking running out of ideas.
Mm-hmm.
In the movie industry, in the fucking video game industry, comic books, you know. So I'm just gonna recycle, you know, and it sucks, you know, and that's why when you see a movie like Dune, going back to Dune, and how epic and original it is, it makes you appreciate it even more. Think about that, you know.
I'll give you that, Josh, for sure.
Think about that.
Yeah.
It's just you know, when you hold something so clear, like we play video games, we watch movies, we enjoy this stuff.
Yeah.
And we hold it dear to our heart. And the fact of somebody as a fan, right? We have the right to do that. That's the point of fan service, right? But the point of the thought of somebody taking that away from you and changing it, and it potentially being shit. Oh man. Taints it a little bit.
It does taint it a little bit, but I think Resident Evil 3 remake is the outlier in that. I feel like so far they haven't, at least in my opinion, they haven't let it down. I can't wait for the day for 5 remake to come out.
I can't wait until it's
better than fucking
so amazing, and he's graphics and he's punching that rock. Oh, yeah, and he'll kick it. Oh yeah, and he'll parry it, right? Because that's what you all want, right? Yeah.
Sure, all they're gonna do a Capcom or Street Fighter.
I agree with Josh. Like where
Stop agreeing with him, man.
I agree. Look, I agree that we haven't heard anything on Resident Evil 5 because I feel like they don't know what to do. As where we got Resident Evil 3 and 4, like little tidbits of news of what they're doing and da 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 da. Resident Evil 5, I feel like they're stuck in a way that they don't know what to do.
Watch them announce it tomorrow.
Right? Yeah.
We're talking, but they fucking-
It always works that way, right? Remember what was it?
we were talking about Grand Theft Auto 6. And like, are they ever gonna make it? And then they fucking like.
No, that Captain America game with Black Panther. I was like, when are we gonna see some? Then a week later, it's like, here it is. Like, what?
So you're launching tomorrow Resident Evil 5 remake.
It might happen.
Officially
I'm gonna jump on YouTube and look for that. No, but that is actually a good point because they advertise the shit out of 4.
Yeah.
You know, where is 5? And how long has 4 been out?
A year. Yeah.
Yeah,
We should be hearing something.
dude. And if you're gonna remake 2, 3, 4, why can't you remake 1? It's
Because
only
I think remake 1 is.
they still do this, Alberto.
Oh man, that's such a lazy argument to make, though, dude. It's still such a good fucking. It's still such a good game, man. You look like an Alzheimer's patient trying to find his way.
It's what they. It's the same fucking thing with slightly better graphics and slightly better acting.
I don't know, man. I think this is no longer about overrated games. This is about gaming moments, and then overrated fighting games, and then it got into fucking. I feel like Josh really wanted to talk about remakes with this one. I feel like you really wanted to jump into that one.
It was a good time too.
It's
We
no. It's no.
alluded to it.
This is the remake episode too. Yeah, and you know what? I took the W on Batman v Superman. I think Josh came up with some good points. I came unprepared on this one.
I didn't even watch YouTube videos too to prove my point.
You didn't watch shit for Batman v Superman, which is surprising to me because you were like, "That's your shit," apparently, and you're just.
Hey man,
I
it
know
was
what
a
we're
long week at work.
Yeah. Well, any final thoughts about this overrated thing, or should we start calling it?
I just feel like we could have talked about a lot more. Not of this topic, but like best moments in video games.
There's gonna be a part 2. Josh.
Yeah,
Dead
that,
Space,
yeah. Now thinking about it, obviously we missed a lot.
Batman.
Dude.
We did bring up Psycho Mantis.
Yeah.
Like God of War. Dude, I enjoyed the Wolfenstein remake. Is it remakes or reboots? I enjoy the shit out of it. It felt like you were playing a fucking Quentin Tarantino, fucking like batshit crazy of a game, you know. See, that moment was kind of cool. But
That was
yeah,
cool.
you know, see, I would like to do a part 2. So
Me too. I agree. I think there's a lot that we didn't mention.
Even on the overrated side, I feel like there's
Oh,
a lot of things we.
plenty, man. There's so many.
I'm gonna throw in God of War trilogy, the OG.
Overrated.
I can close my eyes, fall asleep, and just
Dude.
smash buttons.
Fucking Halo's overrated.
Halo is overrated for
I
sure.
think
Let's
Halo's
spitball this real quick.
Yeah,
What-
I mean, hey, you want to talk about a game that does the same shit over? I think Halo just is
Call
like
of
the
Duty.
fucking- dude, Call of Duty is the definition of fucking overrated, man.
Yeah, dude.
It fucking. I think for me, it ended in Modern Warfare, like Call of Duty 4.
Yeah.
That was it. No,
Um,
I mean, like 2 was good. I'm not saying it wasn't good, but it should have stopped at 4.
any sports game, NBA 2K,
Any sports, yeah.
Madden, it's the same fucking thing.
Yep, every
Same
year,
graphics.
same shit, and people keep buying it.
Yeah.
I
Why?
agree.
Why? And you can't sell it and
Yep.
get money for it.
I agree.
Let's not forget about Cyberpunk.
Hey, look, it's good now, but let's be honest. The one selling point was Keanu Reeves,
Yeah.
and that was it. Like, Everyone was. I don't know. I feel like yes, the Cyberpunk. It's definitely like I played it. It was good.
Yeah, and it's also the only game that allows you to show off your junk for some random reason.
Yeah, that is true. Huh?
I don't know why.
No, Saints Row lets you do that too.
For real.
Always blurred out though.
No, this shit ain't blurred out.
In
It's
Cyberpunk?
it's all dick and balls, bro.
Yeah, you know what's funny? I saw someone playing the game and they didn't realize until like 60 hours in that they were completely nude in the fucking game. Because they hadn't opened up like the fucking like to see your character and like change and shit. And I was like, oh fuck, I've been playing this game naked the entire time. I was like, that's Far Cry, I think, is overrated.
Very overrated. Yes.
Three was good, and then they just
Yes.
kept repeating the same fucking shit. 4, 5, 6. They're like, oh, we need to add a fucking over-the-top villain every time. I was like, oh my god, dude.
Contradicting ourselves again, I would throw in Metal Gear, and their over-the-top fucking storyline is overrated.
We talked about this on the phone.
Yeah,
Hideo Kojima,
that's
I
right.
think, is overrated. As much as he is like such a good fucking like creator, I think people give him too much like credit sometimes.
Kind of a weirdo too.
What? What's wrong?
Death
That was
Stranding.
I was gonna fucking bring up Death Stranding. Yeah, that's so fucking overrated, dude.
I feel like he had to do something.
Mhm.
Like he was like, I have to pay these guys. Let's just fucking do something.
His trailers were teasing something else, not a fucking. Yeah. Like, what happened?
Yeah. You had like the cool music, fucking Norman Reedus, these ghosts, and then you're like, make sure you hold L2 and R2 at the same time because if you don't, you're gonna fall over. And it's like, this is the fucking game. This is the fucking game. Like, okay, you haven't played it, right?
All I know is that it's boring as fuck.
There's a
and it's-
moment in the fucking game towards the end where one of the characters refers to herself as Peach and Norman Reedus as Mario. And like, this is the reason why you're out here trying to save me because I'm Peach, and you're like, Hideo Kojima wrote this fucking shit. He wrote that line. Now I'm paraphrasing what she said, but like, are you serious, Kojima? This is the best you could come up with, dude. Really, like all the they gave you all the fucking money in the world, and you were like, guys, you know what's missing in video games right now? Fucking USPS, the video game simulator, okay? Oh,
Didn't it
God.
get good reviews?
Mixed? But
Holy
now
shit.
people are like, it's such a masterpiece. People don't understand it. It's like the only thing you got right was that no one fucking understands it. That game is so fucking complicated, and needlessly fucking complicated, dude. Like there's, I don't.
You actually have to sit there and walk for 40 minutes. Actually, 40 minutes of your fucking time to get there.
Yeah. And if there were no players contributing to making bridges, you're fucked. You're out here just using ladders to fucking cross shit. It's so fucking boring, man. But I played it, and it is overrated. But there is a moment where you're kind of like, I like being an Amazon worker. This is fucking great. And maybe it's like what do you call it, like Stockholm syndrome or whatever. It's just like, no, it's not bad. This is good actually. Come on, guys, like. Let's all deliver packages together. And I was like, no, it's not. Yeah, I think we can agree. Hideo Kojima is definitely rated.
Not doing it. That same
Wait, they're making a sequel?
yeah.
Jesus.
You want to know what this one's called, Josh? Death Stranding 2, The Beach. The Beach is what it's
Shut
called.
up.
I'm not fucking joking. It's called The Beach. Nope, it's called Death Stranding 2, The Beach. Why? I don't fucking know. I don't think even Hideo Kojima knows, okay? Like,
He does whatever the fuck he wants, and people just buy his shit.
yeah.
That's why.
We're the suckers. We still play it. OD?
Well, speaking of that, they're gonna reboot. They're gonna remake Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah. That one I am concerned about, actually. Just, yeah.
See?
I don't.
See?
Shit, okay, we gotta end this before Josh actually does convince me to.
And then there's Miles Morales, overrated as fuck.
The game, right?
Downloadable
Yeah.
should have been DLC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. $60, man. They sold that shit for 70, right?
Yeah. 70.
God damn.
Oh yeah.
The 70 though for what, like 8 hours I think.
Yeah.
God
The
damn.
DLC on the original Spider-Man game was about the same time.
Yeah. Damn, dude, I agree. Yeah. Miles, yeah, I got him over here. He was better than 2 for sure. I mean, I don't know
No,
why
absolutely.
I don't know why they made Miles. You know. Shit. Is there any more, or should this is it, right?
That's it.
God.
No more in the tank, baby.
Yeah, I think we're running on fumes. Thank you guys for listening for this. It was probably like 2.5 hours now. I feel like this is the fun episode. I'll say again, just share this with your friends if you really enjoyed it. Let them know that we're out here. And thank you, Josh, for being a part of the episode. It's always a blast having you on, man. And we're gonna have to do another one of these, man. Sometime in the future. So
Tomorrow.
oh, fuck that. I mean, I need a break. This is too much. My mind, I need to process everything. So yeah, it's been Two Brothers.
Friend?
There you go. You're getting better at it. This is good.
Hey man, practice. This is like my 7th. I don't know. How many, 8th? Yeah.
Somewhere
eventually
around there.
I'd catch on.
Yeah, so thank you guys, and we will see you guys on the next episode of Two Brothers.
Friend?